We are live. And for once in a blue moon, I have my VRM ready to go. Yeah, tune into the stream if you want to see. If you haven't seen my, oh yeah, Owly, tune into the stream real fast, and I'll show you the VRM. I have it literally set. I literally have it set to be like 30 seconds of ads every hour. It's the lowest it actually lets you choose. I don't know how to make it any better, Sally. Oh, that is that is such a. It is. It's a back and forth. Is it? It's because all the it's because oh wait, no, I know how to fix this. I need to go to Discord Reactive, and I need to make the spacing between y'all a lot smaller. I think that's the issue I'm running into. It's a little bit. I need a little bit more spacing, but all of you together. Look how many the. I like how the Discord bot is just like super far to the left, and now super far to the right. It's so much. At least you're all together now. Who wants bounce effects on? Everyone can be bouncy. I know, it's because I'm gonna need it set up here. Thank you for reminding me, though. I always have to change stream to my. There we go, now we should be good. I appreciate that, Topper.
I'm gonna be right back. I'm grabbing a muffin.
So Saber's doing the recap today.
No, I was not in game. Jin did nothing but yell at. He didn't really yell. He just had a conversation with Hero, which close enough.
Have we ever discussed what that conversation?
Nope.
Just a super long conversation that it was off screen and not important.
No, we will deal with that later. Not today. Later.
That'll be in a flashback at some point.
Yeah, it'll be a flashback. It will be like text roleplayed, so we can just go at it and just read.
Who wants to do the goddamn recap? Does anyone remember anything?
So, from my memory, right? We, yeah, I believe we were already on the way here, right?
Yeah. You started
we
outside
were-
the city, essentially.
We started
Okay.
outside of the what's it called? The shop,
Mhm.
where Catherine had next there.
Okay, yeah, that's right. I was trying to remember if that was part of last
And they
session
got-
or if it was right after.
Oh,
Okay,
when I got my like second player couple on like player on player couple in my sessions now. Both of them, oddly enough, are connected through Owly, Aletta, because Aletta can't stop dating the other players.
Leave me alone.
To be fair, this was pre-planned.
This was pre-planned this time, okay?
This time.
this time.
No, that is an accurate statement. What are you
I
talking
know.
about?
Honestly,
So-
the Adam Catherine moments were pretty great. There
Yeah,
was some pretty stellar role playing between you two.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you. I just popped both of my knees. Jeez, I'm.
Bro.
And then yeah, so continue. After we did have the roleplay moment
So-
between Auletta and Total's character.
Speaking of popping knees, Catherine and Catherine and Godwin are sort of
We
smoozing up.
went in, yeah.
Yeah, we're smoozing up to the gate, and we pretty much just walk right on through. Not a lot of pomp and circumstance. We come in, we get things situated, stop by the official police office to start getting things going, right? Start putting the things into motion, getting Catherine registered, getting the necessary files and stuff, asking to try to figure out who these people are, right? And through all that and shenanigans, we figure out that basically it is the Anasion family, along with the I gotta get their name. Along with the Silkrana family, are doing some shenanigans, right? They have a what sounds like a dungeon underneath the Anasion family home or vacation home that's not on the books anywhere, and we're basically and that's most likely place where Nilo is, and we are getting ready to storm that. After, of course, making everyone go through the city and look through dusty books at the records office, while Suki does his own thing and goes to look at fish or something.
And Suki's the only one that actually finds out the information.
Listen,
Well,
we got to it. All right.
We kind of guffawed around.
We went to the books. It's off the books. I said I look at the books.
I look at the books harder. You're goddamn right, I do. Yeah. Suki goes down. He learns other things from a fisherman pirate, maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna
They
be honest,
were
I
a
got spaced out
captain.
during that.
They were a captain.
They were a captain. Yeah. Sorry, I did not get much of that whole conversation because I was busy piecing things together over on
So
my end.
basically, what he said. So this was a captain and a trader, right? And he brings in and ships things. Basically, he ships things in his ship. He hates the elves, hates them, and he's particularly he complained about this one particular strait where or this one particular area of water where the rocks were rising to meet his boat because they kept being piled up, just piles and piles of sandstone that would scrape the edge of the bottom of his boat if you're not careful, making it difficult to navigate into the harbor. And this happened to coincide with the vacation home, and what we know from Catherine scrying is that the dungeon is made of sandstone, and that this dwarf was complaining about the sandstone because dwarves always mention the kind of rocks that they talk about. This is canon. It's canonical. It's a fact.
I know a lot of rocks.
Dwarves don't just say rock, because they say the specific kind of rock.
So it would be disrespectful to the rocks to just call it rock.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much, yeah. I mean, you'd have to be some kind of idiot to just use it. It's like calling a specific thing just a thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, it has a name, right?
And this is the map. So you know that there's basically the south. There isn't that much going on. It's mostly the mountain ranges. So mostly all of the trade happens towards most of the boats coming in and out are coming from either the north or the northwest. So he was saying that the middle path is the one that is the easiest to get into Grana, and that was the one that they were having all of the piles up of the essentially rocks that have just been thrown into the ocean all willy nilly like.
Yeah.
So the middle path does have the sandstone or does not?
Everything that had all of this has sandstone. This whole area right here is essentially like all of this area over here is essentially that like sandstone taina.
Yeah.
You all-
And over on our end, we have the official location, the exact location of the vacation home.
You have the
So-
location of the home. That is correct. You do have the location of the home specifically.
So,
You are reconvening and making a plan.
yeah. And then yeah, we all basically were like, all right, it's here on these islands, and then we went to sleep because it's tired.
Oh, and on your way,
It's sleepy time.
Pockets found a they found a very dead dog that was meant to send the letter back to the Nashian family, but the dog was dead with vampire bites pricked into its neck.
Whoa, it was vampire bites? Holy crap. I didn't know that.
Oh my god.
I'll be honest.
It was
Don't
drained of
remember.
all blood. What could have done this?
Technically, I don't think does Suki know?
Yeah.
Hey, Suki knows about the vampires. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Everyone pretty much knows about the vampires.
I don't
Does Jin exactly?
think you actually mentioned that there was vampires to anyone else.
Catherine did to everybody.
I can mention my.
Oh yeah, I mentioned that they had some kind of weird.
Yeah, I
thing
literally
about raw
told.
meat.
Yeah, I literally told Suki in particular. I was like, "Yeah, we gotta watch out for the vampires." And Suki was like, "Eh, the vampires?" And I was like, "Yeah,
Of course, I knew that already, but thank
Yeah.
you for your concern.
yeah." But tell me like I didn't know.
But if I didn't know,
Yes.
But if say I were unfamiliar, if I was somebody else, what would you
maybe
think
you
of
should
that?
explain to our friend here.
Exactly. So yeah, Suki knows.
Sure, I'm explaining it. But yeah. So yeah, now we're from basically I think we're going basically to find the place and we are way in there.
Yeah.
Sound good for y'all?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
have we had the chance to scope this place out yet?
No, not at all.
No. Comes in a nice like he's in a nice like suit and tie. This is chillaxing time. He's not in his
You
regular fighting
chillax in a
clothes.
suit and tie.
Goddamn right.
Oh.
Oh yeah, give me a 1d20, Catherine.
Okay.
Perfect. The 7 is the perfect number.
I'm gonna scry on our good pal, our good boy, our $1 million boy, the king,
Oh no.
Our little lad.
our little lad. Let's check in on them, see how they're doing.
Our miraculous monarch.
And
Yeah, I'm gonna go vibe check him. I want to do this before we go to bed.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Just
nighttime.
your daily checkup.
Yeah, it's my. Hey. Oh, you're not dead yet, are you? Oh, you are.
Actually, how long has it been since the last time?
Oh.
This is so this is the night. So right now, so it took basically a day, and then they spend basically like this is gonna be going on the third night now.
Yeah, I guess what I was asking was also like, how long has it been since the last time she scryed on him?
It's
A
been a
day.
day.
Yeah, it was like 24 hours.
Okay, so he
I
wouldn't
think.
be much different than last time, at least
New.
physically.
Speaking of the dungeon, which I make sure you guys may or may not be. Okay, good. I don't think you're seeing anywhere else in the map other than the top right. Oh no, the Tarrasque! Let me quickly hide the token.
Never do that to us, I swear to God, sir.
The what?
That's for another.
The
The
what?
hidden the hidden the
What?
what?
Oh
Eh?
no, the Tarrasque token.
Eh?
I have a Tarrasque token that's just chilling in my D&D folder, just waiting to be used.
Oh, I know you do. I know you do, and I know that's not a joke.
One of these days, the Tarrasque will come.
Never. No. Bad.
No.
I see walls.
Look in the top right.
I see less walls.
I see a red. It's all red
You
here.
might have to put bear because I don't see bear.
Nope,
Bear
nope,
is
I'm good,
no
I'm good, I'm good. I
longer.
see it, I see it.
Nope.
Thanks
Oh,
to
good.
thanks to Shuckles, he made me he made me a invisible camera.
Ah, I see. I see it.
We have camera. I should name them something else.
Nah, camera is the best thing.
His name's Cameron. The camera.
Cameron.
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 And Nilo,
Cameron.
and Tio specifically. Yes, all of you do have access to Cameron.
Why is he hungry?
You have so Tia, you would know at this point you would have that similar sensation once again of someone intruding, this time with a little bit more warning, but the two sisters are out at the moment gathering supplies for only you know what, and they are out at the moment, and it is just you with Nilo. Someone has to watch them, and who better than to be the strongest of all of them? And as you're kind of doing and making your rounds and the like, you realize that sensation of someone entering the well-crafted dungeon that you have spent at least a few good amounts of time crafting. Once again, Catherine, you actually are scrying in at the perfect time. A little bit, not too long, but you kind of see Tio sitting there in the regular means, just watching as Nilo does what they do, but the rest of them don't seem to be around. They seem to be just here, but you will see Tio kind of what is Tio doing when they realize they know who is coming?
They like get up and sort of like dust themselves off. Probably like stow the chair like over here behind the pillar, and like stand. You probably stand like at the doorway or something. Try and look busy, like doing something. Like kind of nervously fidgeting a little bit.
You as you do that, you hear the very, very loud taps of what can only be described as the almost pinpoint heels of shoes that seem to make their way methodically, precisely, with exact precision down on the stones, where every step is not just a dainty step, but a almost power with every single walk. They are walking all the way through your dungeon with completely disregarding to any of your barriers, any of your tricks and schemes. They seem to just walk as if they are a shadow through this dungeon. And you just hear those clickety clacks of the heels walking down until you see her herself, the vampire queen of this entire realm, the only other one head to the actual kingdom here, in approaching at their own leisure and their own will, with a very soft padded rabbit following in tow.
Yeah. Tyr just gives a slight bow and like just stands at attention.
You're gonna see her. She gives a softer nod to you this time, realizing that you're a little bit more kept this time. She is eager as well, knowing what is coming up, and she just looks over to you and with a soft, almost smile, and kind of that same. You kind of see what looks to be a little bit more hunger in her eyes. You see her almost tapping her claws against her own other claws on her fingers. As you see, her fingernails are a beautiful, beautiful blood red, and they have been filed and pointed to be both elegant and deadly. You'd imagine that these nails themselves could definitely scratch into this stone itself and leave a mark if you could. And she just kind of taps those nails together as she looks over and says, "Hello, Tyr, once again. One of the high nobles. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance again, but I have another thing I'd wish to speak with your captive for. After all, they only have so much time left to live."
Why else would you be here, madam? I take it you don't stroll into people's dungeons on leisure.
You elves in your particular way of fancying around the world with your large dungeons and your winding paths. It's always a fun way to see other races' pastime, but we have our own pastimes. But for now, my time is gonna have to be dedicated to your little captive there for a moment. I do appreciate some privacy, but don't worry, I'll make sure they stay exactly where they are when I left them.
Very well. And he's just gonna brush past these lads and out of the room.
Nilo's trying to escape, I think. Nilo, don't move your token, you're duplicating yourself.
No, I was trying to scoot back more against the wall, and I just found out there's two apparently.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
They're layered on top of each other.
Oh, they
Here,
all
take that one. Take one of them.
They won't come out of here.
That one's invisible. There we go. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know, but like I said,
Stop duplicating yourself.
I am
Exile
just.
from the realm.
What do you mean? There's only this one. This one doesn't exist anymore. Get rid of it. That one.
I'm getting rid of all of them and then just
Wait,
putting a new one
no.
out. You're stuck, Nilo.
Now this one's invisible.
Yeah, this one's gone. This one's still here.
That one I don't see. Don't worry about it. I'm just gonna make a new one. There we go.
Okay, now I'm going to do what I was doing anyways, and
There you
backing
go.
up.
There is a Nilo off screen. I don't know what that is. There we go.
It's gone forever.
You see as she comes a little bit closer, waiting ever so patiently, giving a very soft nod to Tia as they leave. You see her stepping forward once again, those loud clacks with each step coming closer and closer, a little bit closer than they were last time. And you kind of see her as she. Let me go ahead and give her just a little small of a. Just gonna do a quick check of her roll there. I'm not sure if that was visible or not, but don't worry about it. She, being very magically inclined of this area. Does this show up for y'all?
The 50? Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about it. She.
Well, I'm not scrying on her, mind you.
Don't worry about it. You see her as she approaches, Catherine. You're seeing Tyr leave, and as you're watching over this, you see the vampire queen themselves give they're kind of talking. They look over at Nilo, and they do for a second, because like what you're kind of seeing, you're seeing kind of like above Nilo essentially. The way the scrying works is you're kind of like watching, like kind of like an aerial view above them all. And you see the Vampire Queen themselves do a very, very small, just kind of head tilt up, And for a moment, you swear they are looking directly at you, even despite you being in a completely other area. You feel as though they are looking directly into your eyes and almost staring. As she kind of holds that stare once again, just kind of lingers that eye there, almost as if she is sizing up whatever she sees in that area. And after a moment, you kind of see her give a soft chuckle as she looks down at you, Nilo. My. It's almost a few let more. Oh, time. Looks like you're running out of time, darling. Have you decided to take up my offer yet? I could get, well, a favor for a favor, if you will.
Neela would hold on to Honey as she's kissing, and shake his head no, frantically, but also tilts his head confused.
Well, like I said, I wanted to see. Oh, my dear, I'm getting ahead of myself. See, you being such an important royal member, I just had to come see. And after all, you only got in this position through, well, a few luck of the draw, I'd imagine, but a few of an extra helping hand. And I'd like to see, well, if I could partake maybe a favor from you. I can't free you as that would go against what the vampires and the elves have working together. We can't exactly fight each other, but. And she holds out you see in her hands, she reaches in, you kind of see her go and like search around in a pocket of hers. And as she does, she pulls out what looks to be a single envelope. And she seems to be waving this envelope very nonchalantly around. I have on good authority that there might be some people looking for you more than just, well, the ones that already know you're here. And I'd like to see if I found a way for them to help you. Would you be willing to do a favor for me?
He crosses his arms and thinks as he stares at her.
Let's just say I don't exactly plan on cashing it in right now. Let's call it a faith of goodwill. I reach out and possibly help your party, friends, servants, gods, thralls, whatever you call them. And in return, the kingdom that you rule will owe me a favor, and I'll be able to cash that in whenever I feel is necessary. But considering it's your life on the line, and of course the deranged feelings you must be having, consider it a pretty strong favor.
He would think for a second and mouth without speaking, I have no reason to trust you.
You kind of see as she reads those lips. You almost kind of see, because you can even read her lips as well, as you see her just very softly mouth the words, "Perfectly fine." But to look at this, you're going so long without food. Wouldn't you love to have a final meal before you end up getting who knows what in here, cast into some despair, cast into some hellish of some domain? Wouldn't you like to have at least going on a full stomach? And you kind of see her as she reaches down with one of her palms as she kind of, you see her very lightly scratching the neck of, or the chin of her rabbit, with the rabbit you see just completely almost having that same deadpan look as you did before. and you kind of see her claw begin to drag along the neck of the rabbit, and you see a little bit of blood that begins to kind of soak into the fur, where she's essentially scratching down to the layer. Wouldn't you like a drop? Something to keep yourself satiated in here?
As same with the day prior, he rubs his nose as his mouth continues to like salivate at the smell of it, but this time he tries the best he can with his salivating mouth to kind of word I don't need your help. I will figure this out on my own.
She kind of gives a softer chuckle. Okay, but you may only have but one more day. Maybe after you find the perils, maybe your party will be a little more receptive to some sort of deal. And as you see she says that, you see the letter in her hand suddenly burst into flames as she basically ignites it into not only just fire, but almost like a prismatic color spray, where the fibers of the paper just explode into this color. And then as she says that, she looks up once again, almost looking into your almost eyes, Catherine, as she looks up to where your scrying spell is, and she says, I'm sure I'll be introduced soon enough. Ta-ta. And you see as she starts clicking, clacketing, walking down, out.
Nilo, confused, would also look up, seeing if he sees anything. Confused.
Go ahead and give me a will save. You do not.
I didn't think so.
And without the extra few minutes pass, you would see Tyr at this point come back to their rifle post there, and you just see Catherine as everyone there just seems to be doing that waiting once again.
She's just like breathing like a really fast. Kind of comes out and just. Oh no.
What?
Yeah, I got one.
How... Fun fact: Vampire Queen has been visiting our good friend the King. Worst fact: she saw me.
That's not how the spell works, though. How did she see you?
I don't think she necessarily saw me, but she knew that we were scrying on them. And based on how Grana as a kingdom is set up with the idea of magical signatures, and if she's a queen, she probably knows people that have entered the town, i.e. knows that can find out that it was my magical signature, if anything, very easily. I see this as potentially bad.
Potentially. Yes. No, I think it's extremely bad. Well, we've had a good run, haven't we?
I mean, okay. Of all things, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. If we go fast enough, it doesn't matter, right? Also,
Unless he's dead by morning.
Yeah, but they've been holding him hostage. The other thing is they're not feeding him. So they know he's a vampire. They know that he needs blood. He's resisting that. And they're tempting him. So, I mean...
This is
They're
entirely
holding him
too
for a
fucked
reason.
up.
Yeah, correct.
Well,
We don't have all of the puzzle pieces for this one quite yet. And even with the snippets we do, we're missing way too much to be able to figure out exactly what's going down.
Also, really fast, where are you having this conversation? Is it outside or inside the globe?
Inside.
The secret
Oh,
plotting
yeah.
room. The secret plotting dimension.
A secret plotting room where none of the bad guys can scry on us.
It has it says it has like a on the outside no scrying sign.
Well,
No,
Going by that,
one,
no
though.
it
villains
has
allowed.
anti-scrying. Yeah, it has a no villains allowed sign. One,
Going by it.
I was in the snow globe at the end of last session. I said
Okay.
specifically that I was staying
Yeah,
in the
you
snow
would
globe.
be.
Two, there is an anti-scrying rune
Mm.
on it. And three, I probably was doing it in like the library, which Suki has access to, and we'll just say we were doing it there.
Yeah, Goblin's like asleep at this moment. Like, no one came to wake him up about this, so he's just snoozing.
It is brand new info. This is brand new.
I was
Yeah.
going to
info.
say,
Yeah,
going by
they're
that,
like-
Jin would be in his room trying to get everything set up for everything that's going on.
Sticking a
At
nice
least with
nap.
like setting up like a bag for like if Nilo needs stuff, if like certain papers that need to be done because shit's going on, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna just send out a connection link message to those that are hooked up and just be like, we need to talk. Get into the globe, meet in the conference room, and by like, or meet in the
Yeah.
the hall, the great
Yeah.
hall, the kit, like where the dining room is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
war room.
We're just there. Goblin's in like he has like a little like nightcap on. He's in like a gown, like the old man.
Oh, you're
gown.
not in your suit no more. Your Sunday evening relaxed suit.
Does Godwin have any like body altercations at all?
Let's see. Noticeable. You have a couple. You notice a couple like silver goldishy lines running up his neck, and that would be it.
Pretty.
Yeah. He comes in, he's like, "Oh, it's so important to wake me up."
I was seen while scrying by the vampire queen.
Oh.
Do we know that she's a queen?
With that regalia, that gaze, I mean,
Okay.
she is somebody
Is-
of extreme power. How about that?
You would also, Godwin. You would also know. You would also know that they are the queen. How every kingdom has two rulers. Grana, or the Elven Kingdom, oddly enough, actually has not a couple, it's not some kind of married couple, but they have two queens, one elf and one vampire.
Okay.
I'm pretty certain it was the vampire queen. Scary lady, long nails, had a rabbit with them. You know,
You were saying that you were scrying on Nilo, correct?
correct. I was scrying on Nilo, checking in on them, seeing how they were doing.
Not great.
Yeah, not great is an accurate representation of how Nilo is doing at the moment. Yeah, nope, that's fair. Their hunger is getting pretty bad, and they're trying to use that against him. I don't know how much longer he'll be able to last out for making a poor decision. I will say he is holding his own quite well, though.
That's good.
That's at least good to hear, and good thing we decided to stop at Westbourne to get his supplies for the month.
Fully agreed. As long as we go quickly, we shouldn't be made, you know, it does sound like the Vampire Queen is more neutral party over necessarily antagonist.
On second thought, Haven't you all heard of the classic bard's tale that it goes something like this? Only fools rush in.
I mean, I
So,
do.
I don't know if that's a
what do you
tale.
suggest?
Well,
It's
it's
like,
more
I
of a
know we
proverb.
shouldn't. It's like, I know we shouldn't rush in. We need to plan before we do it. But the thing is, we also have limited amount of time. He
How much
seems
time
to
are
be
you
doing
willing?
okay, but
What I'm
that doesn't
saying
mean
is
he
we
has
need some
time.
kind of plan.
Well, of course. But
My
we don't even know what we're
Cool.
dealing with to plan for.
Why don't we go and scope this place out tonight?
Do we want to do that tonight, or do we want to?
Just the
Did you?
exterior.
Well, Suki, what relations did you get when you were at the local fishery?
They told me of this rather ornery, and I do mean a rather big thorn in some dwarven captain's side, related to, and I know this because you mentioned the sandstone interior of the dungeon, that
Correct.
there's been a large buildup of sandstone in the vicinity of the straits.
What are the odds that said dwarven pirate might be able to give us a ride there?
I would say fairly good if we can catch him again, and also convince him that doing so would be detrimental to elvenkind.
Well, it'll be detrimental to the person throwing all the sandstones out, so I mean,
It would not be a difficult sell.
correct. I'm just thinking that might be a good way to potentially, get there inconspicuously.
I was hoping for a close look.
I agree with the close look, but I think if well, I mean, once I'm near, I can teleport us near it, at least, and start
Well,
scoping it out.
Why don't we just start with the teleportation? A ship isn't as inconspicuous as you would assume.
No,
Because
ships pass
I
by
don't
all
know
the
what it
time.
looks like. If I haven't been there, I can't teleport there.
Right.
One of the reasons we couldn't just teleport all the way over to Grana. I've never been there.
We get someone from the department. They have they have teleporters there. They've been all over the city. Let's see, yeah, they'd be up at this hour. No commercial ones would be up, that's for sure.
Are we wanting to do it tonight, or do we want to wait until the morning? Because I'm out of the heavy-hitting spell slots at the moment.
Okay, I'm not suggesting we kick in the door tonight, but I'd really like to at least see if this place is occupied. At
Okay.
least from what we
Say
can
we
see from the
send-
exterior.
I say
Maybe
we
if we
send-
put our eyes on it, we would know how we could get inside.
Well, I'm just
Without-
trying to think. I mean, we could send a couple of people, and whoever brings somebody with a snow globe or something like that.
I don't
Set
want
up.
to bring
I
up.
would leave the snow globe here entirely.
Really?
I say one, maybe two people go. Any more than that, and it's
Draws too much attention.
much higher.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All
How
right.
tall is Yip?
Yip is 2 feet. Yip is 3 feet tall. Yip is 3 feet tall.
Okay, and how stealthy is Yip?
How stealthy is?
He's bright red.
No, that's Yap.
I'm going
Yep,
to point
yep.
out
Oh, yeah,
something
Yip is-
about
That's right, Yip
yourself
is
that
black.
might kind of alter your stealthiness.
He has a +3.
Yeah, but
So
you wouldn't
you
know that.
have-
You wouldn't know that in character.
No, but there is a problem with your stealthiness.
Is it
You
like
glow in certain parts.
Yeah.
Adam-
Okay, yeah. You have a visual effect on you at all times.
Yeah, I also have after images constantly going off.
No, never mind. You draw way too much attention.
He's still you ever sleeping because they're not connected to the
Yeah, they're,
Yeah, they're still
No one
sleeping.
woke him up.
But
Yeah,
like
They're not connected.
you came up in theory of just like you're the small one, but someone's just going to be like, yeah, but you glow and you have weird effects on you.
Who's that that glowing neon kobold over there? Huh?
Neon
Adam
kobold.
It's
walks in on the tail end of this conversation, clothes like haphazardly put on. He says, "Ugh. So I understand you need someone to sneak in close somewhere?" And then Clover's gonna poke out from onto his shoulder and just say, "Hey!"
Clover does make a good stealth bomber.
Clover
Yeah.
isn't bad.
No one's
I'm
gonna
definitely
suspect a
going.
random dove.
True.
Whatever you need to do.
Cam.
I like that.
How far away can Clover get from you? Safely.
As far as she wants, as far as I'm aware.
they're not tied to familiars aren't tied to a person's body like a
I
summon
like
or something would be.
a sunrise.
I think the only limitation is
Oh.
how long of a distance they can communicate with them. I think the communication is the only distance, but not the actual
But-
like distance traveled.
Clover and Adam have those
They do.
bracelets.
They
How
do.
far do we know how far they can communicate from each other? Is it anywhere on the material plane or?
I would say because you specifically have those, it would be only a one-way connect. Oh, it'd be a way. It'd be basically you can connect to each other. I would say it just would. They wouldn't be able to connect obviously to everyone else. Like they wouldn't be able to be included in like the one thing. But I would say they
The
could
group
connect
chat.
to you. Yeah, but they could
Yeah,
connect
the-
to you. Yeah. But
Yeah,
they,
I
but
just
they
want
would
I just want to
do
know if
it
there was like a distance
Yeah.
limit on it.
I would say on the same plane. I'll at least give
Anywhere
them
on the same
plane.
plane.
Yeah.
Okay. So Clover's gonna gonna hold up her little talon with her little bracelet on, and Adam holds up his hand and pulls down his sleeve to show the bracelet on his wrist, and says, "It can we can talk to each other basically anywhere. I can relay any information that she finds."
So I'm hearing we've got a stealth bomber that can go and look at this from anywhere and communicate with us from there.
We send her out and see what she's got. I like that
So
idea.
send out Clover to check out the house?
Send out Clover.
I think
If
that
Adam and Clover are comfortable with it, of course.
Clover is hopping up and down and says, "Stealth mission, stealth mission, stealth mission. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious." And
I think
Adam's
the-
just like rubbing his eyes and just like, "Yeah, it's fine. It's fine."
I may also
This
be
is
able
fun.
to get close, but not 100% sure on it.
I think
I don't
I
want
think
you
we
to
should
do-
try to just send in our little
Clover's
stealth
not
bomber.
going to be able to tell us if there are traps or magical instruments or magical traps.
What
Clover
would
will
you
just be able-
suggest?
I would suggest
So,
one or
put
two
me
of
on.
us go.
Because
I think Jin might be onto something.
Do you want to send
I
Jin
may
and Clover?
not be able to do it as well as.
I do not want to send Jin in. As capable as they might be, if they are caught, it would be much worse than any of us.
Well,
Mm,
true,
they'd
but
be
hear me
used-
out. At least,
Yeah.
okay, just for a second,
Mm-hmm.
look at me. Like, fur pattern. I look like an actual, just feral fox. If I do succeed in turning into a feral fox, which I haven't done in several years, so it might take me a second, I should
Oh, it's
be
like
able
riding
to...
a bicycle.
You'll remember eventually, but you never forget. It's
Um,
just Let
don't
me
like the
try
idea
and
of it.
see if I can. If I cannot, you can just send Clover and do whatever you need. It's just that way one of us can communicate, and if I can properly do the Pharaoh form like I used to,
Mm-hmm.
I'll just look like a normal fox for the
Suki,
most
are
part.
you also wanting to go? Because you seem very prominent
No.
about.
I do, but there's one thing that I can't do, and that is I can't sense the presence of magic.
Cool. I am
I can't
constantly
either.
sensing magic, so
Yeah, I can't really sense magic either. I can only really sense like.
Well,
start
And
putting
my
stuff
my
together.
concern is that we walk in the door and then the door attacks us. It turns into like a mimic and something crazy happens because these elves are sadistic and they want us all dead.
Suki,
I'm
Suki,
sorry.
Suki.
Enough.
No, you're right, and that is a potential threat.
Actually, never mind. I
However,
have detect magic. Never mind, I can do it.
We're
correct.
getting it through Clover, and honestly, anything more we can figure out to there. Because
I
Didn't
am constantly I am constantly sensing magic.
Because if we detect the magic while we're there, and we detect the magic now, nothing changes. We know there's going to be traps. We know there's going to be magical traps. What would change between then and now?
If
Well,
anything, what we are
what-
looking for as of current is basically how well guarded the area is. That way, we at least figure out if we can even try and get in there.
Yeah.
whenever
Exactly.
we need to.
But namely,
Clover's job.
I want to have a plan going in.
Yeah.
That's Clover's job.
we can't figure out a plan to go in until we actually scope out the place.
Yeah.
Let's look for back doors. Let's look for
Back doors, windows.
anything else that might be able to help us. Even if it's just finding where they are, above wherever the room is and opening it up.
Like find holes, find.
Oh,
cracks in their barriers,
also,
or even if
some.
not.
I don't think I've mentioned this, but to make sure that it is mentioned, there's a red light on Nilo constantly, meaning that they can't use shadows.
That would explain why he hasn't escaped yet.
Yeah, they have him in constant light at the moment to prevent him from shadow dashing.
All right.
Zerda, real quick, did I feel like we established that Clover can sense magic on some level, can't she?
Some basic level. Just because they are a magical creature themselves, they understand the base levels of magic. They're not. It's basically like maybe like first level, but not like higher. Like they're not going to be
Okay.
able to intelligently define magic, but they're going to know whenever something's like clearly, if it's
Magical.
yeah,
Okay. Okay, I just wanted to be
Alright.
sure.
they know when
Okay.
something's not the mundane.
Clover, go out, scout the place. If you feel anything dangerous, anything at all, leave immediately and come back to us.
The stray
gonna-
cat.
She's gonna give a little salute with her wing and say,
Mhm.
"Sir, yes, sir."
Jin,
Thank you.
hop out, see if you can go feral. And if you can,
I was gonna say, give me a second.
yeah. All
Actually,
good,
I'm just
take your
going
time.
to go out so I can see if I can do it. Unlike Nilo, the only thing I keep is my underwear. We're not gonna get into that. I don't
You
know
do
how
you,
that thing
boo.
fucking does it.
I don't know if we're gonna get much more.
No, I'm going to see if I can. I even have it on my sheet because I did somewhere. I don't know if it was actually a feat or if it was just a thing that also I have. Because I have it on my.
It's a base class. It's a base racial feature. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like change shape.
Yeah.
I'm just making it to where I can go feral because he wouldn't care for a human form.
Yeah.
Quick double check. Can Clover and Adam communicate inside and outside of the snow globe?
Oh yeah. Well, I would say Actually, that's a good question. Yeah, actually, no, they wouldn't. No.
Okay,
You'd
then
have to
Adam's
be
gonna
out
have
of
to
it.
hop out with Jin and.
Well, the thing is, if Jin can communicate back, it should be fine. It's just Clover needs to communicate with Jin for that to happen.
It's only because it's a magical communication.
Hmm.
And there's kind of an anti-magic scrying effect on the snow globe at the moment.
So yeah, then I'm gonna say Adam's gonna. I'm gonna say, well, Clover could just. No. I think Adam's gonna
You're
hop
in a
out with.
Yeah, you're in
Huh?
a safe place right now. Like, you're in a safe home at the
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah,
So
I
Adam
think
can just
Spooky
hop
will
out.
leave the snow globe.
Yeah, I think people can leave the snow globe. So Adam's gonna hop out with Clover and Jin,
Yeah.
and whoever else
And-
wants to come with.
Yeah.
So you would see
Godwin's
Jin
coming out
as
into the
now
house.
a feral fox. He doesn't have his like tattooed fur, or at least it's still there, but it's just kind of a lot more muddled. And he has a little pouch on the base of his tail
That is adorable.
holds important things that he needs on his person at all time. But you also see a pile of most of his clothes on the ground as well.
Oh, I see you haven't learned how to meld those items with your form. It takes a little bit of magic and well, a lot of practice.
I mean, he's going to yip at you.
Clover
Yes.
lands on a.
I
This
Jin's
haven't
head.
mastered the art of talking in a fox form.
Yeah, he's going to yip at you as if trying to communicate that he's trying to explain himself, but he knows he can't tell you anything.
Oh no, it's all right. I understand.
You see
And
a
then-
little bit of like static on his like tail with like little bits of shock on it. It's just like, and then he huffs and just faces away from you.
Deserta, are foxes native to... Would foxes natively be on the island?
In this situation, because it is right outside a giant forest, I would say it's a little bit unusual to see one closer up to the bigger buildings. But like I said, not the rarest thing in the world.
I honestly feel like just because we're so small, we can benefit from a lot of cover and concealment.
Yeah, it basically be one of those like, oh, it's just one of those like, huh, that's kind of odd kind of situations.
Jin, what?
Also,
What's with the
considering
pouch?
he
Coming at
just
this
like he kind of sits down and like puts his like muzzle towards like the pouch and like opens it and pulls out a small metal rod.
Hmm.
I see.
As you see this metal rod, you also see a little bit of like lightning shocks going up his tail, up his body to his mouth onto the rod.
Oh.
I'm sorry, but if you're going through this plan as trying to pass yourself off as a feral fox, I'd recommend losing the staff.
He also pulls out just in case, like he has like one blood pack, or not blood pack, but like one blood jello shot as well, and he'll just like
If it matters, I can make the bag invisible.
Just keep the bag.
he would
in,
nod his head and yip at you.
Just keep the bag in your mouth. Suki, you heard what he did with the scrying spell, right? I don't know if making something invisible would help in this situation. It seems out of our league.
As you are
We'll s-
talking,
We're
Jin
going
would
to stay
start, like,
right the hell away from her.
yeah, Jin would start like clawing at the ground, trying to like just. Honestly, he just like scratches in the ground. No. And that's it. Just no.
Yep.
Take that how you will. That is either him saying, no, I'm keeping it, no. anything that you can think of. Just no,
They say no to everything.
just no.
It's like,
Just no.
no. I say keep the blood back, keep the blood in your mouth and never open it. And leave the staff here.
He just puts everything back in his like little tail pouch, stands up and shakes off
If you
as he looks over at like Adam and Clover and like nods his head and is just like
if you
basically
get caught, they're
indicating,
gonna,
"Are you ready?"
if you get caught, they're gonna take it.
It'll be fine, Godwin. We're not going to get that close.
I'm not gonna get that close, but
Clover,
why risk it?
Clover pops up. Oh, I could probably get right up to the window.
Great. And then Suki will open up the door.
I'm gonna point my hand at fucking
Yeah, that was right.
Someone's
how
gonna
did I-
have to guide Clover. Where
Like what?
exactly? Because it is like, depending on how much
Yeah.
map and spatial and time awareness a dove has.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my hand at Clover and be like, look at Clover. Do you see any bags on them? It makes you look like a messenger animal. And who would be sending a message?
Clover doesn't have any bags or anything like that, no.
Yeah. He stares directly at Jin.
He just
Foolish.
yips at you and huffs. Also, like, just raising his tail, just walking away from you entirely, just as a sassy little fox.
Nasty little fox.
Well, if they want to
Doors open.
captured.
It's literally just like Jin being like, I trained you, quit questioning me.
So there's nothing.
So we
I
know,
want to
like,
let you
we
guys
have like a
know.
know, like, where on the map, right?
I'm not bearing them out. Yeah,
Yeah.
Goblin will give you clear and concise instructions directly to the place.
Now,
Okay.
how well can Clover perceive spatial awareness in large
Clover
areas?
is gonna have company.
I think she still has her survival instincts from when she was just a regular dove, so I think she would actually be pretty good about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's just when she gets focused on, like, little things, you know?
If you
It's...
see shiny, we're done for. Got it.
But Clover can also, when she needs to, she can sit down. She understands the gravity of it all. I like to think. So yeah, Clover is gonna follow Jin out if Jin's leaving.
Alright. I'm gonna go to sleep. No one leave the premises. It's protected, but I can't guarantee anything outside of it. I'm going to sleep. Wake me up if you guys
Also,
get
before
anything.
Jin walked away, he would have looked at the map just to know exactly where to go.
You don't want to hear
Yeah.
my relays on what's happening and what Clover sees?
I mean, you totally can. I'm just saying that he knows
al-
the way, but he'll listen as if.
No, I'm talking
He
to
has
Godwin.
Yeah, Adam's talking to Godwin.
I'm sorry.
so-
I understand.
You say that again?
I said you don't want to stay and hear my relay on what's going on with Clover?
Mm,
Like, she will be telling me in real time what she is seeing.
that is true.
Judging by the thing, though, I mean, it is going to take you guys at least. I mean, it's a few miles out of the city. To at least, I mean, just a few miles out of the city. It's going to take a good while for them to get there to even do anything and then to come back.
He's like rubbing his. He's like pinching his nose a little bit, like thinking. He's like, I can go without a little more sleep. Sure.
Adam pats him on the back and says, "Good man. All right, you guys head out, okay? Be careful."
Safe travels.
You hear a yip before Jin leaves.
And Clover flutters out behind Jin.
Suki also goes.
Where do you think you're going?
Where are you going?
What do you mean?
Where
I can
do you
also-
have to be?
I can also do that trick. Do you want to see?
So you can go and get yourself killed,
Out of my way.
just like the other fox.
Are you gonna push past them?
Maybe we should stick together then.
Ugh.
And then
You
Suki
beasts
will.
can want to kill yourselves. Don't do it on my time. Go.
Suki gives you a side eye as they leave. Suki won't turn into a fox until they leave the city, and they'll just enjoy the stars until then.
Hell
Willful
yeah.
fools. My hope is that
No
Vega
bigger fool, and an outsider's no bigger fool than he who goes without a plan.
they get
Oh yeah,
caught
I
that
also
maybe
I never specified. Whenever Jin does this, he does make sure that he can only show one tail instead of the two that he has normally.
True that.
Catherine's gonna
most of their
pop out of the snow globe for a second, hold a cup of coffee, and just set it down for Adam.
most
Thanks,
of their
babe.
caught.
No problem. Gives you a little forehead kiss, and then goes back in.
He
And
just sips on his coffee.
Hmm.
Wait.
Because I better finish my prep.
I would say with vigorous travel, it would take you at least an hour to get to the actual mansion from where you are in the city.
That's not bad.
Okay.
It's a vacation
Now-
home away from the city, but still enough of the city there to get within wrist distance. Especially
There was-
considering your speed. I will say you guys are definitely walking faster than like 3 miles an hour. Like you have Fox and Bird.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say, Jin would probably be running until he gets super close.
Yeah. Go ahead, Pockets.
I was thinking about this. If we use the roads, we may be spotted. We should avoid them. We should go off the road and try to make our way there.
I mean,
Just so that we're
Yeah.
absolutely not spotted.
Jin would nod and like kind of point his head towards the forest as he runs in that direction.
And then Suki will turn into a fox too and follow.
So with
And
this, how is
yeah, I know it's gonna take more time. We'll also keep we'll keep Clover close to us, not flying overhead yet, so that Clover doesn't get separated. And yeah, Zerda, does how much extra time do you want to add for us off-roading it?
I think we're not
Outside
going
the
down the main
city.
path. There's not really there's not as much of a path. It's mostly just weaving out of the city more accurately. I'll say it's only an extra maybe 30 minutes.
All right, I can live with that.
Yeah.
And did you say that this mansion was outside the forest?
Yep, it is. It is over by the. It is along the. You would know this at this point. God would have told you. It is along the cliffside.
And how close
So
is it to the tree line?
It is. It is on its own little area. There's not very many trees around that specific. Like there's trees inside the mansion, not all around the mansion, but only in, like the garden area. There was not very many trees like around the mansion as it's mostly been built up. I will actually take you guys. Give it a
Sweet.
second.
Mhm.
Someone already renamed Cam.
I totally didn't. What are you talking about? He's just Cameron.
Cameron.
And Suki, there you go. Assuming
Yay.
Fox form.
Fox form.
Maybe off from the southwest.
Since they're getting closer and outside of the forest itself, Jin would like be kind of like he would be crawling on the ground at this point. He'd be staying really low as he gets closer to see.
Okay. So this is like a hill, right?
Yeah.
All right. And does this hill, from this hill, can we see over the hedges?
Yeah, you would be able to see what you're seeing right there from that position. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sweet. All right.
The
So
hedges,
there is.
the hedges themselves. So let me kind of describe the scene a little bit here. So as you kind of are approaching, you take the more top-end approach as you do end up finding kind of like where it's not too hard to track because you know for the fact it's along the coastline, and since there can only be so much along the coastline, you would eventually find a mansion after about an hour, 2 hours of travel. You'd get out of the city. You'd find you would kind of sneak your way throughout the city, kind of being more inconspicuous as a set of roaming animals, each kind of spread out enough to where it doesn't look like three animals are just closely being, tied to each other. But and eventually make your way going through the various forests. There would be animals going in and out of the forest. You'd interact and see various wildlife on your way there. Not too much as it is about 12 at night at this point. It is almost that dead crack of midnight. By the time you actually are able to get over there, you do see along the roads, not along roads, along the forest. You do almost faintly hear the sounds of a bat or two in the distance. You're not really too sure how close or how high up they are, but you do hear the sounds of a bat every now and then. And you make your way over and you get up to this hill and you see what looks to be a pretty large, substantial mansion. It is built out of a beautiful stone, though not doesn't seem to be built out of any sort of sandstone. It seems to be of a limestone, of a quartz, of other kinds of minerals that isn't sandstone. And even because, like I said, I know you'd be looking out for it at that point. But as you also see, you see a little bit over the hedge here. It is a smaller hedge, it's more of a decorative wall than it is anything, no more than just 3 to 4 feet high. With a beautiful garden in the middle. There's a fountain with a little star on it. There's on top like a little bit looking like a star, and then there's a few pillars about of various statues. Two of them seem to be of a lady and a man. The other statue just seems to be of a swordsman of some sort, or a fencer, if you will. Kind of almost like they are guarding the garden itself, though more decorative than useful. And you also see what looks to be a small balcony, and on the balcony you can only faintly see the kind of half bodies of what look to be two elves, each in front of a door, and they seem to be keeping general watch, though their lackadaisy eyes do drift here and there, but they all do seem to be like they are watching over something.
Did you say that these were statues?
Yeah, those are
Okay.
the ones. These two statues are the ones of like a man and a woman, and this one seems to be a statue of a very proud fencer that has like their fencing weapon in like a kind of like a show slash aggressive pose.
Okay.
Hmm.
That's what you see from your angle.
What windows are there that we can see?
I would say you could see inside. I would say there would be a window here, and probably one over. There'd be a window here and here. Inside, you would see just some various furnishings. Another statue that seems to be inside some sort of. Let me actually add a window here. Let me add window here. It's just various furniture of the like. It is definitely a fancier home, one built of decoration and the like.
Suki will start like,
There you go.
cautiously, like, how bright is it outside right now? Starlight, moonlight? Dim darkness.
It is. You look up at the moon, and it seems like it is just one. It is just one night from being full. It is. You see the moon. It is. It is up in the sky without the big line of trees, without the forest, without the city lights. It is for what essentially your animalistic dark vision would show. It is a little bit brighter, but you'd imagine that any non-dark vision seeing character would be having a little bit harder to see. The moon providing as clear of light as it possibly can, being almost as full as possible. There's also almost just a very slightly red tint to the moon, but you're not sure if that's just a trick of the light or if that's just what side of the season you're in.
That would actually stand out a little bit to me as someone with astrology lore.
Mhm.
Does that have any significance?
Roll me astrology.
Roll me astrology, he says. And then I privately roll some dice.
You would know that it is one day before a moon, and not just any moon. This would essentially be a full, almost like it would be basically be the full spring moon. You know that it would essentially be a well of a rare occurrence, but it is going to be basically a full blood moon tomorrow. Just by guessing and looking up at the cycle itself.
Blood moon. Interesting.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it, he says. Jin at this point would also he would think to himself and realize that crawling on the ground as a fox, acting like a wild fox would be very weird, so he decides to actually stand for once. And he's going to just kind of act as if he's minding his own business just in case, but he's going to slowly start like walking up this way.
Yeah, Clover's also going to head this way. She's going to flutter, I'm going to say, up to this fountain over here and land on top of it. And what do I see from here? Any windows, anything like that?
From there, you would see, once again, there is a beautiful ornate window on the northern and over here side. There's
Mhm.
actually one on each. Inside, you see what looks to be a older elven gentleman that seems to be just reading some sort of book, very casual, like not any sort of alarm or any sort of care, just a very casual, almost read of this book. He doesn't seem to have any sort of weaponry on him, though you do have a very faint sense of magic, as he seems to be almost flipping pages without even touching them.
Hmm. Okay.
And in the other room, you'd see the same. You'd see the back end of a statue that shows proudly in a room.
Hmm. It's probably going to be somewhere centered in the house. These are ornate windows. They aren't open, are they?
None of the windows seem to be open. You do see a little bit of movement here and there through the windows, but nothing. No windows are open tonight, at least at
Hmm.
the moment.
I'm thinking. You guys go ahead if you have anything you want to do. I'm thinking.
Suki will sniff around for tracks in the immediate area. Kind of on the side of the hill that would not be visible from the balcony.
Yeah.
If I need to be farther back to not be visible from the balcony, I can accommodate that.
There's enough of a taller grass here. It's not. It isn't a barren wasteland here. There'd be a tall enough grass that and you would trigger movement maybe, but it would be no more than just seeing things moving. You'd bump noses with like just straight up feral rabbit along your way moving about. Give me that perception.
And I'm looking for tracks. So perception or survival?
Give me survival then.
Okay. Survival's bad,
It's
so
more specific. It is more specific though, so.
yeah. If it's appropriate, I will roll that.
There doesn't seem. The only tracks that you can find is you do see what looks to be the occasional animal tracks. There doesn't seem to be anyone that really takes over here to the higher mountain. Whatever vantage point that this would possibly give, they don't seem to be worried about it or be worried about anyone on top of this mountain. There doesn't seem to be any tracks leading up or down.
All right. Suki gonna dig a hole.
Okay.
Suki's gonna dig into the side of the hill that is not visible from the balcony,
Okay.
and dig a foxhole
Okay.
big enough to sleep in.
Okay. I'll say that takes you a good 30 minutes to really dig out a proper hole.
Yeah. And I'm periodically stopping to listen around me to make sure nobody's coming.
Clover.
You know what I just realized? Is Jin included in the group chat?
No. I think so, yes.
Jin is.
Yeah, Jin is. Yip and
We
Yap.
can still
Jin-
communicate telepathically.
You
Yeah.
replaced Nilo, with Jin. So you
Jin.
replaced, yeah, because Yip and Yap are the ones that don't have it at the moment.
Yeah. Yip
So-
Yap and
Hero.
Hero.
We can actually communicate telepathically.
Yeah.
Hmm?
I would
Clover, I
say
don't think he's part of it either, though.
Clover could relay to Adam, but only exactly what like Clover. It would basically, be in Clover's own words, Clover's own mindset, and like Clover's own perception, and then relay that to Adam.
But Clover isn't part of the little group chat.
Yeah,
is
they're
what I'm
not.
saying.
They would only be able to communicate with Adam specifically.
Really fast.
Hmm?
Jin would also be looking for like any kind of tracks or any kind of signs of like.
There would be a lot of movement actually. So this itself would connect to the road. You see what looks to be horse tracks that have been as along with a carriage, and it seems to be like the tracks seem to have almost two horses side by side, or some form of creature that's clearly carrying. As you see what looks to be these steps of some sort of hooves, with a almost very precise line in the ground that represents like two larger wheels.
Would he be able to tell if it's like new or not?
Oh no, it is very new. It is not new by like maybe like the hour, but it is new in the sense that this has been kind of like the rain. It hasn't rained in a few days, and the rain has not washed away anything. That like these tracks are still here.
Okay. He would continue to sniff around, and he would perk up for a second as his ears like move a certain way as he starts to run this direction. As he continues to like search for things.
And as you're doing that, Clover, you see as you kind of hear as you're kind of like digging the clovers kind of in the fountain a little bit, being regular dove-like activities. You see the doors to the mansion open in the front, and you see a woman just come out, elven woman with a almost maid-like appearance, and kind of having a more formal wear, but clearly loose enough to keep mobility. And you see her come out, and she seems to be taking care of these plants around it. As you see her, even though it's in the dead of night, you can tell that with, at least you could assume with elves' natural, basically vision, that nighttime is as good as day for them. So you kind of see them, and they're trimming the hedges here, making sure that a lot of the sticks are well kept out of there, and kind of piling up anything. And you kind of see her on her hands and knees, kind of working the ground over here, just kind of lightly singing to herself.
She's leaving the door open, isn't she?
She is, the door's just kind of cracked as she's kind of viewing here. You don't imagine she's going to be there too long, but she is kind of just leaving the door propped open as she is letting some of the air in as she's messing with the hedges.
Alright. Clover's gonna try and when she's like down on her knees and
Yeah.
stuff, like watering, she's gonna slip past her and fly into the house.
Okay. You do that, and like she kind of hears the flutter a little bit, and she kind of hears the flutter of wings around her. She looks around. She doesn't really understand what's going on. You kind of hear an exclamation of "Oh!" and you can tell that she has left the door open, kind of hearing the fluttering about. She goes and closes the door behind her, but she still remains outside at the moment.
Okay.
Inside, you see essentially what looks to be several different rooms. There is actually, I forgot. There is. There's supposed to be a wall there. There we go. You see what looks to be a room. There is a beautiful ornate statue, once again, of a man. This one in more of a regal pose, and it is on the dead center of the room, almost displaying themselves proudly. It seems to be of the same statue of the man that was in the garden. It's similar to that guy there, but this one seems to be a very much more noble pose.
Okay. Clover's gonna describe the man to Adam, and Adam's gonna describe it to Godwin and wants to know if Godwin would recognize this person.
Pretty sure Godwin went to bed.
Oh, I thought Godwin was up!
Yeah, I think
No, I
Godwin's
was up.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Never mind.
Godwin is begrudgingly up at the moment.
That,
Yeah.
that sounds more accurate.
You're right. I
He's
just
up.
got back. What did your
Good.
bird eyes see?
They got inside the mansion at the
Indeed.
moment. They were a lost. They apparently a lost dove inside of a mansion at the moment.
Oh, nice.
Already. We had one job.
It's as you described that, as Clover describes this very ornate statue. Godwin, you would recognize this as the actual head or the father of the Anashian family themselves.
The
It is
patriarch.
a very, 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 very gaudy display, a regal display of a man of very much wealth and power that has decided to spend his money on a statue to let everyone know coming into this mansion that it is his mansion.
So, that's the head. The statues, then. That's the head of the house. The head of the Anasian family.
Okay. And what's this
Yep.
guy doing here?
Yep, you see him looking specifically. He seems to be looking out a. I'm having problems with Windows today. But you've been. I didn't realize. You see this man, and he seems to be staring out, almost kind of like you see the curtains that are drawn there, and the curtains are almost mostly closed. But you see him just ever so thinly, like only like a thin veil of curtains that are open, and he is staring directly out of this window with almost an uneasy, like there is no movement of his head really. You can tell obviously he's alive and looking, but whatever he's doing, he is making sure to pay attention to whatever is outside that window and making it as hard as possible for anyone to see that he's looking out that window. And you do see what looks to be a very almost a fencing type sword attached to their hip, and you see it is like the clasp around the fencing sword is unhatched at the moment, basically letting it to be able to be drawn in a moment's notice, and he is just very intently looking out that window.
Is there like so wait, the rest of the windows are covered, right? Like here,
Yeah,
covered?
it looks like
So,
this window is covered except for that very thin line where he can see out of as much as his vision would let him.
Okay, can I like hover to like let's say is there like a chandelier,
Yeah.
like
There'll
chandelier
be
stuff
there'll
like that?
be there'll be a
I
few
want
gaudy chandeliers.
I want Clover to like go to one of the nearby chandeliers, kind of try and peek through, see what he's looking at.
Yeah. Let's say you peek through. Give me a d20 because I know we don't really have Clover as a stat block, but give me a straight
Yeah.
d20.
It should be a d20 plus your spellcasting modifier.
Spellcasting modifier? What is my spellcasting modifier?
Familiars do have stat blocks, yeah.
Yeah.
Clover doesn't. We never actually
We didn't really
gave one.
establish one.
I've already decided
Oh.
that Clover wasn't going to be any sort of combat familiar, just to keep them protected personally. So that's why they don't really have a stat block.
Yeah. So do you want to do plus the spellcasting modifier or no?
You're good. You're good. This is just a straight. This would be like I said for Clover and stuff. It's more of just a straight roll.
Okay.
Only because like I said, only because they're very weird when it comes to stats. You're able to kind of very silently, like I said, Clover's not just flapping, but like they are doing it with very intentful reason. Like they know exactly what they're doing. This man's also extremely focused, not really thinking about anyone inside the house. As you're able to get up there, you see what looks to be several people that seem to be almost. They look casual if you were to just see them passing by. They all just seem to be sitting outside. They seem to be overlooking the ocean itself. And they almost just seem to be very casual. You see a table in between them with some glasses on it. Half of the glasses are, half of the glasses look like they've been drank. There's some, liquids of varying levels on the table. They seem to be just idly chatting like nothing is going on. But you do see close enough that there does seem to be a few weapons laying close by, but they seem to be just very like casual about out there.
Why is he so nervous about him then? Huh. You can go to someone else. I want to think about what I
Yeah.
want to do next.
Jin, you're going all the way around. I see Jin just going. Jin, you there?
Saber.
What's
Yeah.
Jin doing?
He would be sniffing more. They be sniffing more. They at this point they're kind of just trying to get a good idea of what the entire building looks like.
I'll
As
say.
they keep acting as if they're hunting for a
Yeah.
rabbit or something that
I'll
they
say.
just smell.
You are able to get, and you notice that the tracks that there is very almost. The tracks at the front were very obvious and gaudy, as in like there was no attempt to hide whatsoever the tracks. But as you get back here, give me a basic perception check. Or survival. One of the. It's the same modifier.
Let's see what it is. I can do survival.
No. You notice that there has been some movement back here, though you can't really determine how many, as the tracks themselves seem to kind of interweave through the grass itself, and you'd be basically picking at dirt if you were to try finding any specific amount of tracks, but there does seem to be a solid amount of tracks that lead all the way down to the back end of the mansion, and as you do, you come around and you see what looks to be 4 people just casually enjoying their night, with some drinks and drinks on the table, just casually enjoying. One of them seems to just kind of have it in their hand, swirling it about, but they don't seem to be drinking it. They set it down on the table every now and then, and just seem to be just casually enjoying the night as they look over this cliff face.
Jin would stop at this like busher tree.
Mhm.
And
Cool.
he would stop and just start digging at it as he kind of just eavesdrops. Or at least tries to from that distance.
As you try to eavesdrop, they seem to be speaking Elven. Let me
Wait,
double check.
wait. I have it, you
I'm waiting to see if you had it. They seem to be
Yeah,
speaking Elven. Um, hearing any sort of conversation, it's almost a little bit eerie. Like they seem like they're talking. What they're talking about just seems to be like the most casual of subjects, as if they are just talking about the daily bread that they bought, the various view of the night sky. They seem to be just kind of nonchalantly talking about whatever of nothing of importance that you could imagine.
As he gets done digging his hole, he just sits in it for a minute and then just pounces out of it and just starts running back this way.
Fox, what are you doing? Suki, what are you doing in your hole?
I'm making a hole for 2 foxes and a dove.
Homeward bound. Suki's adventures.
Yeah, so basically, I want to stake this place out overnight.
As you doing that, Clover, you would see that very daintily. You kind of hear the front door of the mansion open up again, as you see a very much dirtier elven maid that seems to be kind of opening the door. But as they open the door, you see them kind of brushing themselves off, and as they go inside. You see them you see them as they go inside. They take a knee before the statue, and you see them giving almost like a small like prayer to the statue.
Clover flutters overhead, gets the heck back out. Doesn't even...
As you do that, you hear kind of a louder exclamation from the woman. It's like, did I let a dove in? Oh, they're not gonna like if I'm gonna have to find. Oh, I hope the dove didn't end up having any accidents inside the mansion. You see a very concerned look on her face
Elf
as she
bomber.
closes the door.
Okay, and then Clover, I want to hover back over, like, fly over the garden land
Yeah,
on
I'll say.
this right here.
Do you see what looks to be, and you once again you're able to see a little bit better. You see the one of the guardsmen themselves. You see quickly points a crossbow at the dove originally, but then you hear the older one of the two guards that you can clearly see just kind of snap at them. Don't waste your crossbows on a dove. You kind of see them put it down. You know I could get that thing in a single blow without even a question. It wouldn't be more than one. That's such a dove, lad. We got bigger things to issue than here. Very well, very well.
Alright.
They seem to be looking like they look like they're guarding the house the way they are stationed, but it is like very obvious that they are stationed there. Like anyone looking at this like mansion could tell that those people are stationed there protecting those two doors.
Because they want to keep people away. Okay. You can go to the others. I don't know what I want to do next yet.
I'm gonna say that Jin's probably getting back to the foxhole at this point, probably checking in with Suki. Unless you want to go. I will say, I understand. I will say, yeah, you would see a small door here that leads inside the mansion, along with a small staircase.
Is there also a guard on that?
No.
They would just sniff around.
Yeah.
See if they smell anything. See if they just notice anything at all.
There seems to be no movement back here at all. There doesn't seem to really be, other than like the various. You can see a few like kneeled positions next to the garden where someone clearly has gone on their knees to attend to the garden, but only basically from the door there and then the door back.
Okay. Jin at that point would just go back to the hill. Acting as fox-like as they can.
Like,
I'll put the camera there just so the others can see, just so they're not totally out of the loop.
Real quick, backing up, if we could rewind time a little bit. Hang on.
Yeah.
to back when Clover was in the house.
Yeah.
I want to do the same thing as before, where Clover describes the gentleman at the window.
Yeah.
To Adam, and then Adam describes it to Godwin, and see if Godwin knows who that is.
How much do you know the Nashian family? Like, would you be able to determine any of them by looks? Or a description
thought-
of them?
Yes. Yeah. Basically, anyone associated with the family, yeah, I'd be able to tell by description.
Okay. You would be able to tell that the one is a very the way they're describing it, you kind of know there's a few different marks. It would basically be Sylvia, or I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but Sylvia, which is the second eldest, a very passionate fencer of the Anashian family.
Okay.
Just Sylvia. Make sure to keep away from her. She's skilled. No, what's she doing there? Wouldn't be a vacation. She wouldn't be watching some twinkling. Must be associated.
Implicated, even.
This means there's gotta be something on that right side that they're protecting.
Yeah. And then if we fast forward to current time, I want Clover to fly overhead, like high overhead, like up on the roof. Like up on the roof. And I wanted to describe these 4 people.
As you describe them, you would be able to it would be no one that Godwin would recognize, other than maybe just some like if you describe them even to the best pinpoint, you may have heard them. Godwin is people who are more trained in combat or things like that, but no one of too particular note. Like one you may
Basic
recognize from like an adventuring group that typically frequents the town.
Basic gods hired out by the family.
But then why is Sylvia so bothered by them?
That's his question.
Alright. Clover's gonna reconvene with the others at this point, I think. Fly over back over here.
So she's looking out of like this window, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is she looking at them or somewhere else?
You discovered that she was looking directly at them.
Directly at them.
But almost hiding the fact that she's looking at them.
Okay.
Oh, you're back. You know, it's been a while since I've dug a hole like this.
Ooh, a hole? What's the hole for?
Have you... Now, Clover. Oh, wait, I can't talk to Clover.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't... Yeah.
So she's just like looking at the hole and is like, why did you dig a hole?
You could
And-
talk to
and then-
Adam, and then Adam could relay it to Clover. Depending how much Adam wants
Yeah.
to feel like being the middleman.
Yeah, Jin would yip and just like look at her and then just go into the hole and just curl up.
Suki is going to keep an eye on the I'm particularly interested to see if they like switch off or if there's anything that we could maybe learn or exploit just to get inside easier.
Also, Jin would telepathically communicate with you, Suki. there seems to be actually like there seems to be a carriage with like some kind of horses or something that has recently been tracking around the main entrance, and then there seems to be tracks on the other side that are much more hidden. There's also elves on the other side as well that are just talking about mundane things, but they are there. But that's all I could really find on my go around the place.
It looks well guarded. Also, Adam,
Yeah.
I need you to ask Clover something.
Okay.
Something very important. Listen to me very carefully.
Okay.
I need you to ask Clover if they've ever been on a stakeout.
You kind of see Clover perk up for a little bit, like she's listening to something, and then she goes, "Stake out, stake out, stake out. I've never done a stake out before. Oh, what do we do? What do we do?"
Also tell her that the first thing we need to do is be very, very quiet.
Clover.
Because she's
while
ringing in
they're
my ears right now.
yeah, while they're communicating though, I'm just going. It's like Jin's going to like get up and just place a paw on Clover's beak.
It's like Clover's hurting our sensitive hearing.
Clover immediately understands and puts a little feather up to her beak with a shh. Okay, okay, okay. And she just hops into the hole and gets all nice and comfy.
It is
Jin
12
would-
at night, by the way. It's now about
Yeah.
it's now about 1 a.m. at this point.
Jin would also curl up around her as he just waits as he listens for any kind of movement.
Okay. Suki is going to watch and see if there's any movement or anything interesting that develops overnight. I mean, it's 12 at night and there's 2 people on the door. There's 4 in the backyard. There's
will
more
say-
people inside.
If you were to take occasional trips outside the Vauxhall every now and then, I think probably one of the most unusual things that you would see is the table and drinks that seem to be accompanying by the 4 people out there don't ever actually seem to have been drunk. It's like the liquids seem to maintain, even though it clearly looks like they've been drinking it, none of the liquid seems to actually move at all between any of the glasses.
Are they getting woozy, tipsy, drunk?
Not that they are acting in the slightest.
Damn.
They seem to be
I was-
having the glasses just there. They don't seem to be doing anything with them.
I've never witnessed him drink it.
Nope. I would say you may have seen.
What color is the liquid?
There seems to be various colors. It looks like some seem to be various shades of different berry-looking liquids. None just red, but there seems to be a clear one, a red one,
Now,
orange
the
one.
important question: are foxes red-green colorblind?
Who knows? And then the ship comes by. No. I will say you
With
do
cannons.
Yeah. No, I will say you also see you will see every now and then a very small-ish boat. Not one of the big ones that you'd imagine a huge captain would be in charge of, but just a few fisher boats that seem to be out at night in the river itself, or this kind of strait here. And it just seems to be passing by. If you were to be there, you'd see the elves just almost start kind of chatting again a little bit more loudly. about various things, almost waving at the fishermen that come by and kind of holding up their glasses almost as if they're toasting the fishermen, and then they'd set it back down again, and the fishermen passed at that point.
Hey Zoda, can you describe the glasses again?
They all seem to be various looking of wine glasses with various liquids in them, varying levels, indicating that maybe some of them look like they have been drunk and some haven't.
Okay, and what was special about the liquids?
We
Nothing.
don't know.
Nothing as special as far as you'd be able to see.
You said that they picked
Oh,
up the glasses when the boat passed,
Yeah.
and then what did they do? Did they wait and watch the boat?
Yeah, and then they would wave to the boat as it passes by, kind of like they're toasting the
Toasting to the
fishermen,
okay.
and then like as if they.
Okay, so they don't exactly have a stern look on their face like they're ready to drink a fucking potion of fuck someone's day up.
Nope.
All right. Okay.
They look to be as casual as possible.
They're keeping up appearances. That's what they're doing. They're just keeping up appearances. They want this place to appear as a as normal as possible, and they're putting a lot of effort into keeping up appearances here, even though they all have weapons. They're all guarding doors, and inside they're like, glaring down at each other. No, this is the place. I mean, I'm sure of it. But I'm not seeing an easy way in. And this is all kind of out of character. I mean, in character, I kind of feel like the same thing, right? But I'm speaking out of character. I don't see an easy way in without fighting them, unless we can convince them to move, or
So-
find an opportunity when they like switch the shifts around or something.
I do agree with that, but there is a back door over here, but there's also a person in there. So
Mhm.
what I see is the main entrance. We sing out the main entrance and conquer when they come out and slip in.
Okay,
That's what I'm
that
saying.
that's got legs. What if one of us, okay, are you listening? What if one of us were a
Okay.
maid?
okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now,
Cool.
how
I'm hearing you
frequently
out.
how frequently are kitsune servants to elves? Or
Well,
well, I mean, Anasian are elves.
considering Westbourne is so close by, we might have a shot there.
Okay.
Hmm. Are there any? I would know this. Zoda, are there any kitsune servants on the staff?
I would say that the elves would be a little bit. Like, I don't think they not the Nashian families themselves. I think it would be more of a power play to have other elves as servants than it would be to have the kitsune, purely as like a power play.
That
Hmm.
does make
Sure.
sense. So
Okay.
maybe not so much of the play, but at the same time,
I mean, it all becomes trivial when you have magic to accommodate the differences in species.
Yeah.
yeah. Also,
Yeah.
let me reread the actual like change shape, because obviously, I'm not going to make it to where Jin turns into a person.
I gotta
But
figure out how in the world I'm supposed to
I'm
include
pretty
Rio in
sure.
some of this conversation. Rio, do you want to talk
Yeah.
above the table in any of your ideas and thoughts?
I mean,
Hmm.
I'm kind of going with the full information they have right now. I
Because
mean,
what
You got it. You kind of. I'm kind of like out of loop of everything, and I'm not connected, so my character's kind of just sleeping.
You can as a player talk to other people.
Dude,
Yeah, 'cause right now
if you
we are
help
trying
us,
over
help
the
you.
table, like
I-
what we're doing.
Yeah, like over the table.
Yeah, we were assuming that. Yeah, I'm gonna ask you. Try talking above the table a
Me a
little bit.
second, I'm getting cold.
Of course.
Wow.
You're fine.
Oh, wow. Hey, let's include this player. I gotta go.
Nope.
Immediately.
Oh,
Immediately leave.
Wow.
Okay,
Silence
I'm back.
your phone.
okay.
I'm back.
Welcome back, Bria.
Okay.
Like we were saying, we're
Yeah.
trying to do this over the
Uh,
table
y- I-
currently, so
I'm-
you can be involved.
I'm going to let everyone talk above the table a second, only because everyone has the same information at this moment. Only because I want to make sure everyone's included, because I don't want it to just be a 3-person like game right now.
Yeah. Also, really quick question. You said this is a balcony, which means it's higher than everything.
Yeah.
Does that mean that there's like what's underneath the balcony? We
Just
never
a
really talked about that.
Just a single door.
That's still a door.
It's a
So
door.
That is true.
that does also open that up a little bit. It'd be a little bit difficult, but it gives us something if somehow we can get under the balcony.
The question:
Hmm.
what do we do once we're inside?
I don't think I
Is there
get this
any-
far.
Yeah.
Is there any places? Was
Because the
there
thing is,
anything
like,
Clover saw? Because I can't see inside the actual place.
Clove only did a
Can move
quick
a
dip
camera
in,
in
dip
there.
out, so.
Okay.
yeah, I was like, if we really need to, we do have a
I mean,
camera
see how many
right
people are here, everybody? See how
Hmm.
many people are here? This is why I wanted to scope it out.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. But we still don't know who's
But it's
inside.
still a situation of like, what is the best call at this point? Because it's like we could go in as the 3 of us, but the thing is that would still be really weird.
Oh no. I'm not even considering making a move until morning.
I agree.
Everyone else
The only
is 2 hours away. It's
Y-
more than
yeah.
10
We'll be
rounds.
back.
yeah no that's I mean there's no way, not possible. We're outnumbered here.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to use
The
subterfuge,
your brains.
our brains.
Yeah.
What
I'm
if
actually, I'm actually curious.
Hmm?
Is there a? I'm curious. So I see there uses the rock face here. How far is it from here to here? Is it actually 70 feet, or is that just from
Are you
the
talking
balcony
about from the edge of the cliff to the balcony?
to the
I mean-
middle of the?
I mean, yeah,
You
the
have to
cliff.
remember.
I mean, this is.
you
I
have
mean,
to
it's a
remember-
cliff side. It's a cliff side piece. Yeah.
I know. I'm saying how's the difference between here to the middle of the mansion?
Yeah, 60
Because
feet.
Yap can, 60 feet because Yap can dig. That means you can dig down on the side of the cliffside straight to. So we have a tunnel underneath it. It's a possibility. It'd be a lot easier to hide along this side than try.
Oh, here's a question for you, Zerda.
Mhm.
Are these hedges magical, like the Kitsune village?
They are not the all-consuming kitsune voracious hedges. They are beautiful though.
Hmm. Okay,
Yeah,
indisputably beautiful. What? Okay, here's a pitch. Here's a pitch, and this can go a couple different ways, right? We either approach as a group of wealthy individuals who are looking for the last mercenaries in town, right? And it just so happens that it's these assholes, and we need to either hire them or underbid them, right? So we're either looking to hire them or we're looking to replace them, so that we have reason to be around here, you know. So maybe we could hire No, they're gonna want money up front, I'm betting.
Well, no doubt.
Yeah.
What if we offer to work for cheaper than whatever they're asking, and then they get kicked out, and we get brought in, and then we're the guards sitting around drinking. Oh wait,
And we're supposed to be
Mhm.
doing this in a day?
We don't have time for that.
We don't have time for like deep subterfuge and
We're
stuff.
we have magic to make up the difference.
It is dawn a final day.
It is
like,
dawn
we need
of
to
the
get
final-
in, and we need to get in.
Well, I'm thinking
quick.
we do it in the morning. Like we knock on their door in the morning.
That'll require paperwork, and like that'll probably be like at least a day-long process. And we wouldn't be hired. We wouldn't take their places straight away. Most likely, if they would work out like a couple shifts, maybe a week, and then we come in later.
Damn.
We probably wouldn't be like supplanted immediately, especially with no like background checks or anything.
Hmm.
Because also we don't want to be linked to Kita.
Well, yeah,
And
obviously.
if they're doing
Okay.
if they're hiring you guys, they're probably gonna be doing background checks, which you guys
There's
are fairly deep in there.
I come
There-
here, you give me coin. I protect your most valuable asset.
okay.
Yeah,
There's
if I
there's
were
another
to-
thing we can do. There's another thing we can do. All right. What if Nilo were to escape? Right? Or if they thought that Nilo were in the process of escaping, if they saw Nilo just booking it out the front door or something,
I think
they
I
would
understand
be
what you're saying.
they would be compelled to chase.
I
And that would take valuable manpower while they had to chase after, and then if we're lucky they have to begin a manhunt or something.
Mhm.
If we drew out the guards like that, it would be less for us to deal with.
I mean,
like the
But
thinking.
yes, but
that causes a problem for the person doing that.
yeah, and also how well do we
No,
know?
it's not a person at all.
But yeah, but also
I'm
how well do we
guessing
know
it's-
if they can detect illusions though by that front as well? Then
If they're close,
I mean,
illusions can move as fast as they want.
but yeah, but you have there's the literal vampire queens around this area, so I don't know how if she would put in stuff so that illusions couldn't be detected.
Okay.
I don't think she'd be going in personally.
I know if
Has
Or
Jin
even-
detected any
even
magic
she-
in the area?
There's a lot of magic around the mansion itself. Various, even elves and magic go hand in hand. There would be a very, very strong sense of magic around the air. Nothing too extreme or gaudy, but definitely a sense of magic. Even some of the lights seem to be lit by magical flames themselves, just so they're never having to be replaced. The handles themselves seem to be, even some of the door handles themselves seem to be having some magic on it itself. It is a wealthy noble's mansion, like vacation home. Even the statue of the household man himself has had some sort of magic on it, though you'd maybe guess it may be just something to keep it perpetually clean.
Does anyone else want to spitball some ideas? Because I'm thinking illusions.
I also agree with the illusions, but I also agree with you about the fact that I don't.
Yeah. Either illusions or using like I don't have any good spells in this instance that might be able to help us utility wise, in all honesty.
Let me look
See-
at what I have again, just in case.
The thing is, I don't see a way of us walking straight in at all.
We just kill
I
everybody.
see a way of luring guards away, and
Beating them up in the bushes. lure them away, just like
Oh
drag
my
them
God.
over to the
Listen.
corner, beat them up, take their clothes.
Oh my god. Okay,
Listen.
if we want to disguise ourselves as the guards, that is well within our ability to do without any fuss.
That is a good idea.
Well, yeah.
Run over,
Yeah.
grab a guard, and just, or I mean, we could literally just walk up and be like, "Hey, we're your replacements. Like, you can go on break."
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen every single guard here. I could probably impersonate them.
The thing is that we don't know how they're supposed to be
Yeah.
because they logically would know their schedule and who replaces.
Yes, and that's what the stakeout is for.
Yeah.
That's also the
So-
nighttime shift.
Yeah,
Night shift
right?
and day shift are
That
definitely-
takes a lot of time, though.
Well,
Yeah, it
we're
does.
staking out until morning, and so far, only I have seen anything. I presume at some point that Jin would take over actually and watch the and watch
Yeah.
out, and we could even arrange that telepathically to make it, all in character and such. But
Yeah,
like just so that we
Jen would
both get a
do it.
long rest, we should be taking shifts and watching.
Chloe doesn't need to sleep, so she can actually just
Yeah.
stay up the entire time.
Oh, that's awesome.
Option C, actually, I just had a thought.
Okay. Is it
Okay.
fireball?
No, Suki impersonates one of the guards and can kind of choose the one that might have the more power in the situation. And then we have him and Hero show up and say, "Yeah, we caught these guys trying to sneak into the place. We're gonna take them down to, tier or whatever to see what he wants to do with them." And we walk right in.
There you go. That's really smart. I like
Certified
that.
classic.
Yeah.
I like that.
Classic.
We gotta get rid of one of the guards, though.
Yeah, but that means that we only have to get rid of one guard. We
Mhm.
have Hero, and they know Hero, or at least they probably have heard of this beastkin that was working with them.
Hero visits the Elven Kingdom every now and then for trade.
Yeah. Plus, Hero, if we said, oh, tell Tyr that Hero is here with some Gangoons that were, we just tell them we're here. And we have them walk in, making them think that we're captured, and we just walk right in.
It might be good to impersonate more than one guard, though, because how are they gonna believe that one guard captured, like,
The big
5?
burly.
Yeah,
Well-
also, do we know if they're made to
Hero.
capture them or kill people? By the way, because they might be out.
We don't know that. This is something that I considered.
I mean, to be
I
fair,
can-
it could also be, hey, this is above my pay grade. We could just literally go, hey, this is above my pay grade. I'm just taking this up the chain to see what they want to do.
We can send someone who is functionally immortal, and
We need some charismatic bullshit, is what I'm hearing. But I think
This-
I think
this
I
is
think
my
we're gonna
part of the
get there.
puzzle.
Exactly.
This is my part of the puzzle.
And that's why it's like, yeah, oh, we just thought it was gonna be this, or like, it could just really easily be something where it was like, yeah, no, we just found them on accident, and like,
File them.
Just found
I-
here.
All right, I can do something that is almost guaranteed to get us a really good look inside. It'll tell us what their intentions are with any intruders, and it carries virtually no risk. So we can insert a spy who may be able to get inside, who may be able to get all the way to Nilo, who may be able to find out, everything we need to know. But there would only be one individual that we would have contact with.
If you guys want, I
And
can
it would
also
be
give
Kenko.
you a small hint as well if you guys are stumped in some way.
Do we want a hint?
Mm,
We're the
think-
players.
I
We're
really-
invincible.
well, I mean, to be honest, I really like the setup that we have at the moment, or at least the idea of a plan that we have at the moment.
A hint
Oh.
wouldn't hurt, though.
I think that would be a good start. I mean, yeah, I don't think I would hate a hint, but I mean also like
It's one of those things. If we already have something that we might try and do,
I think a hint is still good to know.
A
Just
hint
as,
could
like,
tell us, you know,
which
is
way to
this good? But
swing.
is this
Yeah,
good to
Yeah.
go this way, or do we
Yeah.
want to maybe try something different?
yeah.
I will say,
Wait.
Go
Make
ahead.
one of us do a skill check so that it feels earned.
Hell yeah.
An appropriate skill check.
Wait, let me see what. Let me see what.
Suki, give me an Arcana check.
All right.
Sure.
Arcana. I'm gonna make it blind so that we don't know anything.
Hell yeah. Base your hint off of whatever that was.
Yeah.
Yep.
I will say, you guys are treating this like this an isolated thing. You're not thinking about what has led up to this point and how things have gone to where they are now.
there's more to it than just this. That's right.
You're thinking of this like it's an isolated, like you were just thrown on a map randomly, and this is a situation you're being dealt with. We're not thinking about who you're dealing with and how you got to this point.
Well, we got to it relatively easily, which makes me think that they're setting up a trap for us.
I mean, it's
Well, no, they know us.
yeah. The vampire queen
They
knows.
know that we're coming.
The vampire knows that we're coming. Do the Inashians know that we're coming? Is a question.
I would say, just
I mean,
think
The
back.
Naxions would expect us to come, but
Yeah.
they wouldn't be privileged to have such information that the vampire queen would have.
Think
Unless
of
you told them. That's
Where would we be able
wrong.
to find the vampire queen?
she finds
I
you
don't
if she
know.
wants.
Yeah,
She'll
that's
find
a.
you.
Yeah. That'd be
I want,
where she was.
yeah. Just think
I
of.
mean, is
think
there
of,
any way to challenge them for Nilo?
Yeah.
Send like a challenge to try to get Nilo back?
I mean, okay, so here was what my idea was. I was gonna send Kenko up to the front door in the morning and say that Kenko is the negotiator,
Okay.
right? Because Nilo's been abducted, he's not been killed. You know, maybe they'd be be willing to talk ransom or something like that. And that way, I would ask for proof of life, and then
They
I'd have
want to
to take
sacrifice
Nilo.
Nilo for something. What's the.
But they might be willing to hear us out.
I'm trying to think about like.
Think of who
So
you're
the-
dealing with.
Yeah, thinking of who we're dealing with, the Cult of Ra, like more seriously. And I think that's one of the issues too. Is it's like only some of us know the Cult of Ra shit, so it's a little hard for the others that don't
Oh,
know
this is a
about
new
that.
cult. This is a new cult. The Chernobyl just
Okay.
Yeah,
help.
it's a
The
new
Joe
cult,
is
but
just
it's
helping
just
a
the
new cult.
fact that
It's not
just the
great.
fact that Turbo
Okay, I had no
Yeah.
idea about any cult
exists,
shit.
Yeah,
that
Yeah,
it makes
it's
it
a new
harder
there's cult
because
shit.
they
It's-
specifically want to
Yeah.
see Nalo die.
It's a cult. It's a cult of hunger, and the Jobo they're hungry for revenge, and this is helping satiate that. It's not the Raw again. It's a different one.
If they want revenge, God, are they trying to trap us so they can kill us in front of Nilo?
Maybe.
That would be fucked up.
I wouldn't fucking doubt it though.
Well, thing is,
Yeah.
Nero's the prize.
Well, no, but that's the thing is they want us to think that Nilo is the prize, and so they're gonna trap us and and potentially kill us as Nilo killed all of their friends, all of their adventuring party 10 years prior. Am I crazy? Like,
I mean, I don't know what the fuck you're
I-
talking
I-
about. So
I don't know what the
sure.
hell's going on.
Just take a look at the map.
I just
Jonah,
How
you
much-
literally said ignore the map.
So
No, I
Leo,
said-
where
No, I
Yeah.
didn't say ignore the map. I said I said don't think of it like a standard map. I said take a look at the map. I said don't like think of it like, oh, you're just being plopped into. Like I said, think about
Everyone, ignore the
Basically,
How it-
take into account everything that has led up to this. Everything
Wait,
that has led
they're
up to this.
throwing
Okay, so
rock
when
out.
you say, I'm
They're
sorry,
throwing-
Turtle. Do you want to go ahead?
I was gonna. My brain is on. If they're throwing sandstone out somewhere, maybe there's a hole that we can just go in. That we don't even have to go into the house.
Because I was thinking
I
maybe there's something alongside the
Coast.
cliffside
Yeah.
that Clover can look at
You know what?
if he
That's
flies
not a
down to
bad
the right.
idea. We can check out the cliff.
I was just thinking cliffside, just because. Yeah, because if they're throwing sandstone into the ocean, like it's not like they're like the Earthbender isn't like
I
how
mean,
the
it had to be
Earthbender is
hauled.
bending them
Has
out.
to be
Yeah.
hauled out there. Yeah. So I mean, they're
The
just
haul
dumping
itself.
wheelbarrows over. Um,
Yeah, it's not like they're. It's not like they're walking through the house with these blocks of sand. We know it's
It has
under the
to-
home.
At least whenever it comes to that, it has to be the one chick that specifically got Nilo
Yeah.
that's dealing with all that sandstone. But
Yeah.
the thing is
Yeah.
that I don't know outside of that point because I am big dumb and cannot put things together.
So how much do we know in character about this cult? Do we even know anything about them?
only
Well,
one of
that's
you
the
does.
thing.
One of
Yeah.
he knows nothing.
Who? Who is it?
Godwin.
Let's see.
I would say probably kind of.
It's not. I will say it
I'm
doesn't
trying
have
to
to
think
do
of-
with it. That's the where and everything is not due to the cult itself. It is. You're very close.
So let's see. Godwin doesn't know. Godwin doesn't know that there is a cult.
Where did the
'Cause
party
this-
first
Godwin-
really like meet Godwin?
Hmm?
Where did the party first really meet Godwin?
They really met Godwin
Was
whenever
in Keto.
Nilo got yoinked. That was whenever he made a prominent show.
Hmm.
No, he was in the arena though.
He was in the arena, and I believe
He was in the arena
he was-
before then, wasn't he?
and he was in
He was at the festival.
It was
he in
before
the
that.
arena.
during the carnival.
He wasn't at the festival. Or he wasn't at the arena during the arena.
No, he wasn't.
No.
He was only there whenever Nilo
No.
got yoinked, and that was because of the fact that he found out what Tyr and all of them were doing whenever Nilo
No.
was yoinked.
Yeah.
Do you remember that
It's the-
day?
Following,
I'm trying to think. It was before that. It was at.
Hey Godwin, give me
the
a history
festival.
check.
It's like,
I'll be right
I-
back.
Is that a
I-
history check? Is a history check a
I-
thing? I keep forgetting.
No, it's not.
No, history checks are not a thing.
I keep forgetting the history checks aren't a thing in this game.
Nope.
I guess it would be a society check if it's close enough.
It's a memory check.
I don't know.
Intelligence.
Give myself just a straight.
Int check.
fucking- I don't know.
Give me a straight int check.
Can't do those.
Hmm.
So
Oh yeah, you
I'm just
can't
gonna
actually
grab
roll.
I'm just gonna grab a lore.
Yeah,
We'll just do like a trained lore skill.
yeah.
Just fuck it.
Yes, very
Hey,
much so.
you should
Because-
roll a little higher.
The 4.
Cool. Because I'm gonna be
Where
honest.
did-
I don't know what you're referring to.
Where
I,
did
I know when Godwin first met the party. I don't know what
What did you
significance that
do-
has.
what did you do immediately after it?
So let's see. He has that. He has the what's we fucking call it? He has like the orange rock from the beach,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and he didn't really have any meaningful interactions, or really any interactions at all outside of that. Is that the ghoul person, and that was pretty much it. Everything else was the fortune teller and stuff for the tournament. That's where Godwin met the party. That's where they first, like, did stuff.
I mean, Godwin knows Suki.
And Godwin knows Suki from before that. in a different thing.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what Zerda's referring to, though.
Yeah.
Honestly, when Zerda tells us to think outside this map, I think of the only person who wouldn't actually be on this map anymore because she only comes to visit, and that's the Vampire Queen, who has a name, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's her name?
I gave it to Godwin at the beginning of the session.
Politics lore?
Oh my God, we're gonna tell you what the name is. I actually do have a
Politics
name.
lore?
Go ahead. I stepped away from the computer for literally 1 goddamn second.
That's when I want to roll. You can't do that.
I literally am currently stepped away from the computer for 1 goddamn second.
Well, we're gonna wait for you to get back. We're gonna hold our breath.
Can you hey Struggles, pronounce that name that I said for the Vampire Queen. It was
Bro.
Miyu something.
Miyu Satsujin.
There
Oh,
go.
you posted that earlier by mistake. Miyu Satsujin.
Satsujin. I think.
Wait, so
think-
lead up to the
I think Neil is here.
lead up.
Everything is.
So Godwin, lead up to the events of you like really getting involved with the party.
Me lead up? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see, there's a festival thing. He participated in the tournament. And that's that. Found a rock.
Did you delete that post?
I don't know.
And
I don't know what you're talking about.
I haven't deleted any posts.
Oh, okay, there it is.
he found the thing in the river. And those two. And then yeah. He did his investigating after the tournament. He found the river passage. He went through it, saw the portal, saw the Nilo incident, and then went back and announced that Nilo's captured.
Somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there.
No shot, that's what you're referring to. Quover, get in the water. It's gonna be underneath the water. There's gonna be a
Fucking
passage.
You know, that makes a lot more sense now. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
You know, Zerda.
Adjacent.
If
Oh my
you know,
lord.
Luckily, Clover
That
doesn't
is
need to
something.
breathe, so.
Give
I
me
will
that.
say, Jin can't be underwater for too long, but he can swim.
I would assume not. I would assume Jin would need to breathe.
But he can swim very well for a fox.
I cannot.
You can't swim? No.
Rip.
Suki is a bad swimmer, or just bad in
Not
general
even
at
that.
athletics.
I hate it too, Zerda, because also, yeah, where's all the sandstone going? Into the water. Who needs the sandstone? The people we're looking for. I hate you.
Well, I sort of thought it wasn't just spawning straight up out of the ground. But
Does
yeah,
anyone have a
you
water
gotta-
breathing spell?
There's also these 4 people here.
I mean, I've got potions.
There
There's
is these,
those
I'm not
4
around.
people there, yeah.
and someone
keep
watching those 4 people.
Yeah.
After I
So-
prepare my spells in the morning,
Ah, shit.
Suki will send Kenko out to see if they're willing to negotiate or willing to hear of it, or even if they just take Kenko prisoner. That would give us an inside look into the dungeon.
True. If it gives us something. Or, would it be better to put him in as the ghost eater, or to have him get caught trying to sneak in?
Negotiator. Less threatening, and they'll make it to the door.
Make it to the door, but how much further?
I don't know.
Yeah, let's see there. Alright. Well, I think, you guys want to go swimming?
No.
Too bad. Get in there.
Too bad. Too
bad.
Did we confirm this?
You haven't.
No.
Yeah, we need we need Clover to do a flyover. We need Jin to see what they see on their shift.
But if it's underwater, how are we gonna see it?
Go under the water.
Oh, boy.
Can,
So-
can any of them swim?
Jin can. He just can't stay under for too long.
That's everyone,
have-
Saber. That's everyone.
Exactly. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
but he can swim. He knows how to swim. That's what I'm getting at, okay? I
Midas,
just want to
I-
specify that he
So-
can't breathe underwater.
So much of me wanted to
So we-
see the playing out of having a Nilo escape the mansion
see, so
with
he's,
them not
he's
being
not
in the mansion.
he's not here, but
Yeah.
Midas.
just random.
Oh, that.
Yeah. So he's not here, but Midas can breathe underwater.
So wait. There's no entrance inside the mansion to the dungeon.
There's gotta be, right?
I'm going to be honest.
It doesn't need to
Going-
be Earth Shaper.
Going-
How does
Yeah.
she get in though?
That's fair.
She just shapes the Earth. She just digs a hole.
So,
No,
do
no,
you
no, no. How does
remember
the
how?
vampire queen get in?
Wait, do you remember how?
Vampires aren't
She needs
immune
her
to
own engine.
water. Vampires aren't
Also,
afraid of
we
water.
have
That's
kind of.
cats.
We also have kind
No,
of
it's-
agreed
it's
it's
that
flowing rivers.
because
It's flowing
of
rivers.
vampires being the way that they are, Zerda has joked about scuba vampires
Yeah.
for a long time now.
Because they don't have to breathe, so they can just walk on the ocean floor if they want. They
It's-
don't have to breathe.
That,
Zerda.
I
That's
joke.
not
It's a
like-
joke. It's a joke.
No. I was just gonna say a common thing is that they can't go across running water.
I don't
That's like
know
an
that.
actual
I
vampire
don't know
thing.
that.
It's like a
I
vampire
actually,
lore.
I don't know. That's a. What can they?
No
like,
one-
do they
no
walk
one's
on
gonna-
it? Like,
No,
So
it's
Zerda-
they can't go across a moving water. It's one
Zerda-
of the issues.
Well, that's the thing.
I'm
though,
gonna
is
ask
that
you
I've
this. No,
never
no,
heard
Zerda,
of
I'm gonna
this.
ask you this real
Thinking.
quick. I feel like this is gonna get real important real fast. What the fuck can vampires do in your mind?
That is actually very, very important.
they
Actually,
have
because
bat
I
shape.
have
They have
my-
hypnotism. They have charming abilities. They're kind of like a succubi a little bit with a blood fetish kind of thing.
So shape-shifting, mind control. What was the last one?
Charms and compulsions.
Compulsion.
Anything else?
Very
What about
much.
their weaknesses?
By your logic, Suki is a succubi with fur.
Actually, it's an incubi because they're male.
Well, they're non-binary.
I'm going to put this out there really fast,
Just
Zerda.
throw
Wait,
that
I'm going to
curveball
put
in
this
there.
out there really fast for you. Both of the kitsunes are non-binary.
Nice.
Kitsune don't have genders.
Unless it's
Is
Cloud.
there a
then
wolf
that's
or
straight, so.
Fox gender.
Get that in precisely 5 minutes. So what are vampire weaknesses
That's what you have to find out.
in your lore?
You have to find that out.
they're weak to nothing.
Wait,
They're
Zerda?
right now.
You have to.
You
Well,
live-
vampire. Do you have
Part
vampire
of
lore?
Godwin's job is hunting vampires. He
Actually,
knows this. Give me their weaknesses.
Actually-
Also,
vampires and elves aren't supposed to fight each other because that would end in literal bloodshed of two long-living races. They're not actually supposed to fight.
criminals go both ways.
What if Clover just dives into the water?
I mean, you could.
That's just
You could
random.
totally do that.
What if Clover just dives into the water just to see if there's actually a path there? And what are these four gonna do about it? Like, what are they gonna do?
True.
They see
It's
a
a
bird.
bird.
That's not a
Yeah,
pelican.
they-
Shoot him down.
Slipstream burp.
Vampires have climbing speed, manipulative charm. They see in the dark. They have claws and fangs and bat form and mist forms and
Give
coffin
me them
resurrection.
weaknesses.
They have dominating gaze.
Dominating
Glaze.
glaze?
Is
What
the
the-
glazed donuts?
Give me them
Yeah.
weaknesses,
Mist
Zerda.
escape.
Put the donuts down.
They don't like direct
Oh.
sunlight.
Don't like direct sunlight? Is
They
that
don't
it?
like it.
I don't like
They
it.
do not like it. They
Is that it?
They do
I
not like it.
Anything
Okay.
else?
They don't really care for like vegetables and the like.
What?
Come on.
They
But
like
damn,
the,
do they
specific-
love fruit?
Oh, because they're. Oh my god, I fucking hate you.
they like
Okay.
the meats.
They like the meat.
They have
Come on.
poison.
They
disease,
have
They don't
to
like
be
the
over.
greens. They
The
like
thing
the
is, though,
red.
this is also part of Godwin's like research of, hey, we scryed on a vampire, we might have to fight vampire.
I will say
what
they
the-
are extremely cocky, and if you can use that to your advantage, they are very susceptible to essentially goading and self-pride and things like that.
That's everyone.
That honestly,
is
that
true.
is everyone.
Vampires.
But I mean, if
Even
you think
more
about it,
so.
vampires do strictly have that.
Yeah.
Can I
Is it
just,
Like,
can we just have Clover
prominently.
dive into the water real
Yeah.
Yeah,
quick
you
and
could
see
do
if
that,
there's
yeah.
a thing?
Oh,
Yes. If
Yeah.
you want, I will write you up some vampire lore later.
Okay. So we'll just say Clover flies overhead. Look how slow that flies by. And where are we saying it's about?
We don't know.
We have no idea.
I would say it's along the. I would say as you get close to the cliff face, the others kind of. Some of the other people kind of look around, seeing a dove in the air. A little bit odd. A few of them kind of point out at you, not exactly threateningly, just kind of point out at the dove as they see you kind of go around the cliffside. You do feel a sense of magic coming from below the cliffside where these four are hanging out. You sense you don't see an entrance of any sort, but you feel a strong sense of magic that seems to be parading around on the actual cliffside itself. There's a strong sense of magic, but there isn't actually anything there. It's just a cliff face.
Like, wait, is it like under the water that I
No, it's on the cliff face itself.
Oh. Okay, Clover's gonna circle back around and communicate that to Adam. And I'm gonna look at Gowan and say, I think there's a magical door on the cliffside
Above
where
or
we
under
go.
the water?
above water.
Well, that makes things slightly easier, I guess. Actually, that makes things a lot easier. We just stick to the cliffside and we're good.
Well, there are the four people guarding them, so guarding above the cliffside. So
You said they were behind the fence, right?
they're
You
behind
could, you would be able to tell they have a clear line of they would have a vision of the cliffside itself, not like fully like they're hunched over staring at it all times, but you could tell that they are at least they would be able to easily see like the cliffside on both left and right from where they're sitting. They
So
have,
we're,
they
like,
have put
directly-
themselves if you
Directly
came
here would be seen.
yeah, like there was a small blind spot that they do have, but like they could see pretty well along the cliffside, just casually looking left and right.
I see a wall here. Is that like an obstacle to them?
That's just a small fence.
All right.
That's what I was saying. Was like, oh, they're blocked by this wall. They wouldn't be
Oh no,
able to see into
it's
the
a small,
thing.
it's a safety fence. It's a beautiful
No.
space.
It's a railing.
Yeah, it's a small
railing.
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 All right.
Yeah, nothing, no wall or anything. It's just a. I said they were looking out at the water.
Alright.
Now, how do we feel about the man on the inside plan,
If
where
we can
we s-
pull, if we can
where
pull
we
them away from the
send-
cliff.
where we send Kanko in as a negotiator to see if he can get captured? That would have to happen in the morning. It would have to happen after Suki prepares spells.
Yeah. The only thing is I don't want them. I guess
They already know. They already know that people from Quito are coming.
But they don't know how close we are.
I'm
Or
thinking
who
of
made, or they also don't know how many, or who exactly made it over.
yeah.
There's a lot that they
I'm
wouldn't know unless they are like scrying on us at all times, in which case any plan that we make is basically obsolete. The
Which
point
is
being, the point being,
so
what if they just send some random ass Kitsune diplomat or Kitsune negotiator for hire? Right? It would be believable that they would be already be on the inside of the kingdom. Right? So maybe, I mean, if you can pass a message through to the other side of the kingdom, you don't need a diplomat. You just need someone who's willing to go to bat for you.
yeah. Cause let's see. I'm trying to think.
What do you
Cause
think, Brio?
we go in there. Draw.
What,
Probably
Brio?
her.
I don't know
maybe?
what much to add for this.
Yeah.
Be
Cause
part
let's
of
see.
the planning. You're a strategy gamer.
So this is going to plan. I see him go. I see Kenko going in, getting basically
Hey, Adam, give me a d20.
getting caught
Oh, wait.
and
Adam, a d20?
Actually, well, technically, Clover. Give me a d20.
Fair.
sent by her,
Ooh.
and maybe 2 guards, and they accompany them down here. We have Clover on watch to see exactly where it is and if there's any specialty for opening it. And then we deal with the remaining 2 and then dive over and go in. Ideally, that's how I see this plan working.
How much are you? How much is Clover like flying around?
I would say not too crazy much. She flew in and flew out through the door, and then she flew back over this way a couple of times, but that's it.
Is she
You know,
flown
like
around the mansion, like outside of the mansion at all?
do a full circle, no. But
Anyway,
Okay.
what's that roll?
anybody have any complaints with this plan?
So there's 2 parts. There's Kenko, and then there's the rest of the party trying to sneak in the door.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm saying Kenko. Yeah.
So we
My
do
thought.
Kenko's part first, and then watch for the opening.
Yeah. We do
Okay.
Kenko. If they get done, we have Clover just sort of milling about the shoreline and just keeping an eye. Hopefully, we pull 2 guards away, and then we pull the remaining guards away, deal with them after the Kenko stuff, and then we go in.
Anybody have anything to add?
Sounds like a plan.
I think
Sounds
that's
like a
the
plan.
shot we got.
I think that's good.
All right.
It's either gonna go really well or really poorly, and we'll go from there.
Exactly. We improvise.
We improvise.
Let's
Think
go
about
with
the
that.
bigger picture. Maybe they want to capture us all and murder us all. 50-50.
They can murder my familiar, I guess. It's happened
Was it?
before.
I do love that Kenko is the expendable familiar, the token expendable familiar of the group.
Token expendable familiar.
Looks good.
Kenko might have an attitude about it though.
Are
We'll
we gonna
we'll
talk
see
about
what
the fact that
happens.
if you
Dude.
don't have your familiar by morning, you don't actually get spells for that day?
Yeah, that's why this is happening after the morning.
Yeah.
And that's why I said in the morning, in the morning, in the morning, after I prepare spells,
Yeah.
after I prepare spells, after
no,
I
you're good.
prepare
You're good.
spells.
All right. I say, what's to go?
All right, so Suki
What do you
and
thought?
Jin and Clover will be in the foxhole tonight. Telepathically in touch with the rest of the party. Oh man, we have company.
Wow.
The
You're
foxhole is
looking awfully
expanding.
good, Suki. Yes, you are, other Suki. You're looking really swell as well.
Yup.
I am one good-looking fox.
I forgot that I had
Yes,
oh,
I
Stop
am.
it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop.
Yo,
And then they
Zeta, can you
make
throw down my
out.
mount? Can you throw down my
Written
mount?
by,
God.
written by, God, what's the
Spi-
guy who made
I was gonna say the
fucking
spider lady.
no,
No. No one cares about
Rick and
Spider-Man.
Morty. The guy who made Rick and Morty had like this obsession with people making out with themselves.
The clone.
Oh. I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about. Is this the guy
Well-
that got, in trouble for?
Let's go on to the
actively-
next scene.
Oh yeah, we're
Like
live.
good old juice.
Oh yeah.
Oh
How
yeah.
do you forget these things?
I don't
Many
Easily.
reasons why.
Easily.
Easily.
I guess I don't because I have to mod the chat, or I have to like be a moderator.
Yeah, I watched the chat. I have the chat on live on my TV.
Yeah.
But yeah, can you throw down Midas, Zeta?
No, we actually have people.
How are
actually have
you
people watching,
approaching?
huh?
The commenting.
This thing is a
Comment.
large
Yeah.
creature. I thought you know.
Goddamn right he is. He's a fucking
That's
good
what
boy.
wait.
Are you sure you want to go through with that?
This is a large lad. Also, I need to change him to
You know
level
what,
12.
That's what
I
she
was
said.
gonna say it's like
Oh, yeah.
whenever
Okay,
whenever
well,
y'all show up, Jin is going to look at you and just like kind of like pat at his chest and it's just like close. Please.
How far away? How far
Oh.
like?
Wait, I don't
How
know.
far away are you actually meeting up at the? Because like I said, this is still like I said, this is still technically the night. If you're going to make the plans, I would just like someone to run them down in character, just to get everyone as an in character way to respond to it.
All right, sure. So we'll head like a mile or two out, maybe like 25 minutes walking or something, and we'll go over the plan.
Yeah. I'm thinking we come from the south, use this as because I'm guessing this is a solid wall, right? Because it's got a shadow.
All right, where are you looking? Okay,
But
no,
this is
no,
all
that's
the,
a fence.
This is just
That's
all
a
the,
railing.
It's just all the railing.
The railing.
It's
Yeah.
a map. Thing.
Okay, so it's not. So it wouldn't provide any. Okay.
No.
So
You're
also,
going to want to go a significant way down to the south in order to get around.
Clover,
Oh.
give me one more d20.
let's see. I'm trying to think where the best.
13.
You could set up from the north. The north would probably be the best because I don't think there's. Are there watchtowers and like people guarding from the north? I can't see from up there.
Jin would have better information about the north.
Um,
But
So
no
before we continue too far, Adam, you would have obviously, even though Clover it does act independent, I'm guessing you would also sleep at some point in the night as well.
I was muted. I'm sorry.
Just-
I was like, what? Why is no one saying
Go.
anything? But yeah, yeah.
as I mean, like I said, Clover just kind of does she eventually nest for the night?
I would say she would eventually nest for the night too. Yeah.
Okay.
Even though she doesn't need sleep, she still likes to sleep.
When would you guys leave the foxhole?
Just before the crack of dawn. And this is an old instinct of Suki's. I mean, imagine being like a detective or a cop or something, and you're on the lookout for this criminal, and you're looking high and low for them, and you're searching every bush, you're searching every tree, you're searching every rock, and it's the wee hours in the morning, and you finally have to give up your search, but your relief's coming in. You go before the sun comes up, is what I'm trying to say.
Actually, I don't think she would nest because it's a stakeout. So she's like, I don't need to sleep. I'm going to stay up.
Okay. And does she stay up at the foxhole, or does she fly around it still?
I don't think she flies around, but I think she kind of flutters up on top of the hill and like watches from there. Like kind of hidden in the grass where they can't see.
In the tall grass, like a Pokemon?
Shitting in the tall grass.
Like a Pokemon.
Shitting in the tall grass.
Have you never heard that?
Like a Pokemon.
Have you guys never watched Evil Dead? Like any of those movies? That's like a
Nope.
saying that like the main character Ashley has is like
Oh,
shitting
of
in the
course
tall
he
grass.
does. Of course he does.
Okay, that's funny.
No.
Okay, give me one moment here.
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh,
we're doing
dear.
this now? We're doing this now? Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh wait,
Someone's
nobody can
rolling
see
dice.
Even I can't see that, Hawkins.
Good.
Say hey from everyone.
As Clover is kind of watching, and this is late. This is like 3 a.m. at this point. Adam, you are sound asleep at this point for the most part. You finally, you have a little bit of nose and everything kind of built into your system and everything. And as you are essentially kind of finally resting into the night, you hear almost like a loud scream come into your ear as a bat-like creature has spotted a single dove in the bushes and has now pinned Clover to the ground.
Oh,
Abel.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that last part?
Unless you have something for this, Pockets.
A bat
A bat.
has
Oh.
pinned the dove.
Gotcha.
Wait, so bat like creature or an actual just bat?
What now? Clover sees a bat. And it is now pinning Clover to the ground.
Clover is gonna be letting out loud squawks, just trying to alert them.
Jin would
And Adam's gonna be
wake
like
up very-
telepathically like, guys, wake up, Clover.
Yeah, Jin would like hop up at this point and pop out of the like foxhole and look around trying to figure out where the like squawking is coming from.
And as you guys are seeing, as you do kind of begin to pop out, quickly as Clover's kind of watching this bat kind of sniff very, very closely to their neck, you see the bat begin to, almost in a mist, begin to transform. And over top of where the bat is, you now see a man holding Clover down, almost pinning them to the ground with almost hunger-looking eyes, before you kind of see them give a small, just chuckle at what they have just caught. You just hear, Clover, them speak to you. You're not a normal dove, are you? I've been more than aware of what you've been doing here, and looks like the stakeout now is the stakey. Let's wait for your friends to get here.
He pokes their head out of the foxhole.
Eh?
Yeah, there's 2 other people here.
Whoa!
They're like, we don't know what just happened.
Yeah,
Wait,
so
that's not. He pokes their head out of the foxhole.
yeah. Also,
Yeah.
Jin is going to telepathically just kind of like at everyone. Vampire, bad,
At
bad.
everyone.
I
He goes to be specific.
think I disagree. Suki comes out. All right. Suki comes out of the foxhole, and are we kind of positioned in a way where our location is not visible
It is.
to?
They have intentionally waited to the moment where they have become as stealthy as possible, and as they see you come out, you kind of see them hold one hand, obviously keeping Clover there down to the ground a second. Meanwhile, you see their other hand kind of putting over their lips, as you just see a very thin, devilish grin about their faces. You just kind of hear them say,
Suki just gives a big foxy grin in their feral form. So we're on the other side of the hill. No, but the elves can't see us, correct?
"No, they cannot."
Suki turns back into a kitsune. And you said it's about 3?
Yeah, it's about 3 a.m.
Hmm. So good to see friends here. To what do we owe the pleasure?
I've been so gracefully. Well, take a walk with me as you see him kind of nod his head over towards the Elven Kingdom, or the Elven Mansion, as he kind of then nods his head back the other way down the hill, away from the mansion.
Good thing there's 2 Sukis. Very well. Let's parlay. What? Whoa.
There you go, now only one Suki remains.
No, I can see both.
That's the
The
map you're
other
not supposed
Suki
to
got
see.
executed.
This is technically
I
the
can
inside
see.
of the mansion.
I can see everything.
If y'all don't know, there's
Oh.
actually there is an inside of the map. I just hit it.
Yeah, no, I see it. I see it. I've been
I-
seeing it
Yeah.
for the past like.
I
20
tried to
minutes.
hide it with a
Yeah.
wall, but
And then
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
remove
for
the
some
wall.
reason the wall disappeared, so I don't know.
oh,
The walls of the reality
'cause
are
I
all
I
falling down.
accidentally-
I've peered through the
Yeah.
4th wall and I have seen God.
You see,
you
Adam,
kinda
you
see
are
it.
woken up by a loud mental swatting coming from your head. It is you. You know exactly what that sound is. It is Clover in danger, or at least
Yeah, and then
perceived danger.
also afterwards you just hear Jin saying vampire, vampire, bad, bad.
Suki,
That is
vampire,
terrifying.
maybe.
Adam's gonna communicate with Clover and just say, stay calm, play along, don't let him know anything. And Clover's gonna kind of calm down a little bit. She's still obviously nervous. She's kind of trembling a little bit, but she's gonna look up and she's gonna look up at him with these big puppy dog eyes that little birds can do. And just kind of, she's not gonna say anything, but she's just gonna like settle down.
He kind of looks. Don't worry, you'll be free the second I talk with your friends. Not
Kenko
here.
stays in the hole, by the way.
Got it. Registered.
Mhm.
They will stay in the hole. You see the vampire. Kind of, you can tell clearly they are that, and you kind of hear them say, don't worry, you won't be hurt until we finish. Well, once we finish talking, you can be let go. I just have to make sure that I'm heard." And they will, like I said, they gesture down to the bottom of the cliff. Does Jin follow? They will They
Jin
will
would.
carry you gently, but restrictively. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that hold you do, where they just kind of hold you. They're holding your wings kind of closed, but not painfully as much.
Just grab
Oh.
Burb.
Yeah.
Gently,
Yeah,
but
Jin would follow very slowly.
Grips.
Still in feral
kind of
form.
trailing behind.
Yeah.
As you get further down, you get just basically enough. It's not too far. They travel for about a good 10 minutes into the forest, enough away from anything that could possibly be hearing. And you finally, as you're kind of walking along, what are you thinking exactly as you're walking along here?
Are you asking me specifically?
All three of you.
Suki is thinking that there may or may not be an opportunity for some diplomacy and or assistance and or powerful friends to be made.
What's Jin's thoughts at the moment?
Jin's current thoughts at the moment is basically he has a really he is just like focusing on how they are holding Clover and is just kind of in a protective mindset at this current moment, trying to figure out what Suki is thinking and also trying to figure out like how to deal with this in the best way for the best results as well.
And Clover is panicking. She's trying to stay calm, and she's trying to describe the gentleman to Adam. And then Adam is going to ask Godwin about if he recognizes this vampire.
I
well.
would say most likely you would have to wake up Godwin to do that.
Oh, Godwin fell
can't do
asleep, motherfucker!
You both went to sleep.
Adam fucking slaps Godwin across the face and says, "Wake up! I need you." A vampire
Yeah,
has Clover. This is what he looks like. Do you recognize him?
Give it. He's like squinting. Do I recognize him? I feel like I do. I feel like I've seen him before.
Would you recognize someone that is the right-hand man to the queen themselves?
Yeah.
Politics lore.
Yes.
Instantly, yes.
Yes.
He'd
Very
be
much
very
so.
familiar.
You would describe them
Yeah.
as essentially it is essentially the right-hand man of the queen themselves.
Like, oh, fuck. This is bad. This is bad. That's yeah. That's the fucking right hand man of the queen. What's his name?
Oh, let me get Suki's politics law as well.
Politics lore.
It would basically, you would know them, they would name themselves. It would be basically like it says the right hand man of the queen. It would also be not only that, but it's also the son of the queen themselves, known as Hiru, and it's not, that's spelled, it's Hiru, and then it's the same last name.
Hiru Setsugen?
Tatsujin. Yeah. Wait, that's spelled differently than the one.
Oh, it's supposed to be the same. I misspelled
Is
it.
it?
Sets. Oh, didn't I? Sets.
No, you did.
S-A.
It's
Is it a J
Setsugen.
or a G?
It's a G.
It's a G. And unless I might have missed.
Okay, the one.
Oh, did I
Okay,
miss?
the one you sent me would have a J in it.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was looking at the one that Pocket sent. Pocket's clearly got it wrong.
What did I do?
Let me double check. It
Tatsujin
should
or
be. It's the one
Tatsugen?
I sent you.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
This
it
a
is.
J.
Yeah, J. My bad. Pocket's got it wrong.
Okay.
What?
It is Hero. There we
Mm,
go. Hiru specifically.
Here's
What did I get
so
wrong?
the queen.
You mistyped one of the last names in chat is all.
What would be?
Setsugen.
Oh yeah.
So it's
Oh,
Setsugen.
Tatsugen.
okay.
What would be his like known for, like his specialty?
Essentially doing, others would just know them as essentially the general, like, then there's kind of it's ones that basically does a lot of the above the work table, but you'd also know that they also responsible for doing a lot of the underhand work of the queen themselves. Kind of one of those, very much so, they keep the really beautiful public face, and at the same time they're also doing the dark deeds of the queen themselves.
The guy one sort of tenses when he sees like this is bad. That's the queen's son. Does all of her
He'd be like, "This is good."
less desirable work. When she doesn't want to get her hands dirty, she has her son do it.
Great. Fuck.
Mm,
He's gonna communicate that to Clover and to the others as well, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
that's why I wanted to
Clover,
talk
and
to
you're gonna see him actively like put his hands up to his like out of nowhere. He put his hands up to his ears, like he just like someone just screamed in his ear, and he's outside out loud. He's like, Clover, calm the fuck down.
And at the same time, he's gonna get like a huge, like a super loud, like mental blast of basically Godwin be yelling at Suki and Jin, being like, "Where are you two?"
Suki doesn't respond because Suki is presumably talking to
Yeah.
talking to
I would say you'd have at least some inkling because
Hero.
he is not talking on the way to the spot. He is essentially keeping that perfect kind of like silence as you're moving around 10 minutes outside of the mansion.
Okay, Suki doesn't respond anyway.
Yeah, 100%.
And Jin?
Jin would tell you that they are still kind of near where the location that they were supposed to be at. They're kind of going away from it at this point.
Okay. We'll meet you. He's gonna give you a location to meet at, and basically they're gonna set up an ambush to
Jin
snipe this
will-
motherfucker.
They are 2 hours.
Jin
You are
will
2
tell
hours
you-
away from them at
Yeah.
the moment, by the
also,
way.
Also, Jin will tell you that just it's not worth it at this point. Just we'll take care of it. I will keep you posted on what's happening. In the meantime, who is this person?
That's Hiru, the son of the Vampire Queen. When she doesn't want to dirty her hands with whatever work she's doing, he is the one who does it. And if he's here,
So, going by that, we actually might have an opportunity. A very sketchy one, but an opportunity.
A best kind.
Time to make a
explain.
deal with the devil.
We'll see how this goes, but I will keep you posted. It may sound very dumb, but I am going to, in my head, repeat everything that I hear so you know the conversation at that point.
So that's very easy for you to do.
Okay. And yeah, Godwin's gonna immediately get up, get dressed, and start heading for the thing. And he's got, in addition to his normal armor, he has all these like,
The ring of garlic around his neck.
close. He's got all these like golden, like he's got all these like golden etches into like the metal bits of his armor, and like paper, like basically like charms, like hanging from his armor, like decorations.
Now that I think about Catherine, did you tell Jin that earlier the Vampire Queen sort of saw you without seeing you whenever you were scrying?
I tried to tell everybody.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we got it.
Jin will also reiterate to Godwin and be like, honestly, even me telling you what all is happening, I don't trust it not being safe around this one, considering that earlier, if he is almost, if not close to, as powerful as his mother, I do not trust it.
Even the more
Make
reason
with
I
that
should
as
be
you
there.
will. Make with that as you will, but don't do anything unless obviously prompted.
And as you were you're kind of saying all this, as you finally found a nice clearing. There was no other vampires or anything around the clearing. It just seems to be somewhere that is just quieter in a way. Definitely out of line of sight or anything like that of the mansion themselves. And with that, as you do relay all this information back, as you kind of repeat back, so everyone, is anyone waking up Catherine or anyone else to be involved in this?
I'm waking everyone up. Yeah.
Who wants to get up Catherine?
Have to find me first, fuckers.
I just huck
I'm
the
behind
snow,
7 magic doors.
just rattle the snow globe.
Doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Shit's aeroscopic.
You see the
You have
snow.
you have a
Yeah.
telepathic
Yeah.
like if you wanted to try to message her.
Yeah, that's what.
Did
really
Jen
what it's for.
notify? Jen did at all? I think Jen did at everyone.
Yeah, it's true.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
That is
I
true.
think Jen did at everyone.
So who's
Well-
looking up Yip and Yap then? Who's
Someone
No.
can include Yip and Yap on this if they'd like. Please do.
Catherine's just like,
Yeah.
"Ah."
But no.
I think-
But yeah, no. When I say I'm waking up everyone, I mean everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone's getting the message of get up, Clover's in danger. We're going.
anyone gonna wake up Yip and Yap since they're not on the call?
Oh yeah, but not in the call.
Yeah.
Oh, you forgot that. Okay.
I can
I
go
thought
grab
you
him.
looked them up.
I'll go grab him. Catherine kind of like stumbles into Yip and Yap's room and just, guys, wake up. Okay.
Yeah, Yap is
Yeah,
already awake.
nice.
He heard you walking around. He's just looking at you. As Yip is still laying in the playroom.
Her eyes are like closed as she like talks to you. Just, Clover got taken by a vampire. We should go. Yeah. Sorry.
You remember that Yep doesn't understand what you're saying.
Yap
I'll
can.
turn to Yap and look at him in Draconic and repeat the same thing.
There you go. Okay. He picks.
Little did you know, I can speak Draconic, motherfucker.
No, I remember. I was just like, I don't think you're talking Draconic because you're just away. I'm like, do you remember? He scoops up.
Do
Yep,
you
who's-
remember?
Who is trying to wake up?
Yeah.
Anyways.
It starts carrying him out.
As you're doing this, the conversation finally begins. You kind of find a nice little place. You see them sit on looks to be just a stump of some sort that has been kind of there. As you see, he places Clover very gently on his knee, not exactly, like I said, not holding them down too much, but you could tell that it would not be a wise idea trying to fly away from them, though they don't exactly try to, not painfully pin you in any sort. I'm just kind of keeping a close hand next to you.
Does my underworld lore check reveal any insights?
You can tell that he, just looking alone, he has no inkling. You don't see any inkling at all of them trying to hurt you in any way. They don't seem to be hostile. They just seem like they want
Well, yeah,
to...
I mean, I got the parlay part, but do I recognize him as a member of the underworld? You know.
I would say maybe not by face alone, but by name alone, you would know that, like I said, the right hand of the queen themselves, just knowing that is who it is, you would know that they are definitely someone who has dabbled in basically the more underhanded looks of the kingdom, things that need to get done, things that need to be satiated, things that need to be dealt with. There is certainly there's things that the queen really wants done. They're the kind of person to do that.
So Suki will open up the conversation by asking, "To what do we owe the pleasure, hero?"
Kind of, you see him as he is just ever so petting the dove on his knee, almost just his finer hand, as you see him say, "I hear from, well, let's just say the queen, has sent that a certain group of rapscallions have decided to try rescuing one of their own, and as well the right hand, and well, clearly you know my name, so I don't need to hide it in any fashion, but the Queen is looking for a favor from one of the other kingdoms, and I think, of course, being as honorable and noble as we are, we'd be happy to be the first one to give a favor if it meant receiving one later.
A favor for a favor. But I have to say, this is a little bit lopsided, don't you believe so? For you know the exact nature of the favor being requested, and I can't, for the life of me, imagine that you would be seeking a favor without having some inclination as to what it may be.
I'm gonna see him. He gives a smooth, kind of sly grin to you. Well, I'm sure with you being Kitsune, you know that the vampires and the elves are mostly forbade from attacking, killing, maiming, drinking the blood of course, or any other sorts of bodily harm to the elves, to the vampires, but it's such an outdated law, wouldn't you agree?
Go on.
Well, and you kind of see, kind of, he just kind of looks nonchalantly at one of his hands. Is these claws, no matter how sharp I make them, aren't good enough or legal enough to find themselves in the throat of the elves, and without a peacekeeper that has been unfortunately gone from us for the past few decades, the tensions have been finding themselves risen once again, and we're trying to find a way to maybe take advantage of that. The son of one of the nobles has gone crazy capturing another kingdom's ruler. What kind of name does that put to the elves?
A very poor one, if I do say so myself. It seems as though the elves want to do to Keto what they did to Glossnock. To
Westbourne.
Yeah,
Wistborn. Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
Saber.
You're
and of
welcome.
I
course,
lost my notes
yeah,
when I switched operating systems. I lost my notes.
No,
and of course we wouldn't be able to do anything against the elves to claim any sort of power. It would take some outside force, but to go against the elves, the ones responsible for such strong magic, such great forces, such ancient wisdom, it would be suicide for us to try to break any sort of oath we have with them or any kind of deal we have with them. The deal's what keeps both of us safe. The deal's between the vampires and the elves specifically, if you understand.
Oaths. I have to say that they are an awful inconvenience.
And of course, if they manage to, and you're gonna see, inconvenience or no, and now suddenly the son of a noble is trying to destroy another kingdom. It's going to cause such chaos and wreckage. I'd imagine that the king's guards must already be in the city. It's what everyone is talking about.
You do say everyone, do you? Surely we've been more discreet than that.
I'm sure among the elves who are, well, more prideful in themselves, not even knowing what's going on half the time, you tell them one thing and they just believe exactly what they've already known for 100 years, despite no matter what you
Hmm.
tell them.
Their arrogance is their curse.
And I think
And the
their arrogance may have run its course, with them being bolder and bolder, finding themselves. I think it might be time for a new, let's just say, ruler. One of the, you know, that of course we want to maintain good repertoire with the other alliances, so we have to follow the rule of two rulerships. But right now, one of the rulers seems to be fitting of an elf. And that's just so unbecoming for for species who can't even keep track of their own war efforts.
Jin, do you think. uh, Do you believe that hostages are really necessary at this juncture? Suki turns to address Jin, but then turns back to address Hiru, and says, "Do you really believe that hostages are necessary at this juncture?"
Oh, this dove, I have no intention of keeping any sort of hostage. I just wanted to make sure that I had enough attention and that you weren't so bold and brash to attack someone on sight merely because they looked at you wrong or did one thing. I have to vet my own people, and if you don't have a cool head, then I have no business here.
Jin, and Clover, do you believe that you could head to the others and let them know that we're here, that I'm here?
He just kind of looks nervously between the vampire and him and says, yes?
Jin is going to look you dead in the eyes. Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay. He's going to shake his head and yep.
All right, so do Jin and Clover leave the area to seek the others? Meet them halfway or something?
I'll say he'll let Clover go, but he will say that, I am not in the business.
Suki is standing next to him at this point.
Yeah, because I have no interest in the hostages, but like I said, if you I advise you not to try to out cunning any situation here. It's really a talk of wits and conversation.
Goblin's gonna.
Suki looks over their shoulder. Are Jin and Clover, well on the way at this point?
Goblin's gonna send a message to Jin and he's like, "Do not leave."
And Jin is going to say, trust me on this. Once.
Clover is frantically at this point flown over and is like clinging to Jin, scared.
Yeah, Jin at this point would start walking. They would look back at Suki and just.
Suki seems to be working their magic. Like Suki has a hand on Hiru's shoulder, like they're and kind of like laughing at this point. Yeah. And then Suki will say, as soon as they're out of earshot, "I merely wanted to enter a more advanced stage of our negotiations, and I couldn't have certain parties present for that."
You kind of see him as he kind of looks up to the stars at this point. You see him just kind of leaning back, almost with just in a more casual pose at this point. Quite. At this level, at this stage of our lives, we don't exactly have to use or physical power to flaunt ourselves. I'm sure influence is more than enough to speak for what would happen if you tried to be anything more cunning. I'm trying to use that cunning with us, not against us.
Indeed. We'll work smarter, not tougher. And let's take this conversation on a walk through the woods here.
Let's. It's such a beautiful night out, only one day away from the blood moon.
What is the significance of that, might I ask? If you would be so willing as to part ways with such privileged information, of course.
Let's just say it's tends to be a more crazier night for the elves. Some of them decide to go out and do such raucous things, and well, if they almost destabilized at that moment, I'll say, they tend to have a lot of crime that happens on that night.
Interesting. A crime night. A night of a crime spree. Couldn't be me. Now, let's talk in more practical terms. I'm not sure that I can guarantee a favor from the king himself, but I may be able to get you the very next best thing. You see, what if you were to ask a favor of the king without having him know?
What?
And what exactly, how would, just humor me a moment, and how would I obtain that?
By coming to me. And Suki smiles.
And what power do you have to speak for the king?
None at all. But I have the king's ear, and as long as that remains the case, your input will always be welcome.
You see him give a, also just kind of like a subtle grin as well. See, the thing is, I do appreciate that, and we need you to have your king back in order to actually get to where you need to go. For if you lose your king, you'll be destabilized. And then what are we gonna turn to? The dwarves? They're the only other neighboring ally that we could possibly besiege, and those don't have any interest in trying to help us. But it seems the elves have already waged war on you, so you have the perfect incentive.
Precisely right. And we have made certain inroads, if you will, and yours would be a most welcome addition. And as I happen to sit amongst the king's guard, I have the king's attention anytime I need it.
Then that is precisely. How about this? I know where. I'm sure you've done with more than enough stakeout to understand where that pesky entrance to their more secret dungeon is, but they seem to have it constantly guarded. And I wouldn't want you trying to have a huge fight right before you enter one of their dungeons now, would you?
What do you propose?
Well, let's just say the Queen themselves have been visiting your little, well, our little
Yes,
friend.
we are aware. Go on.
And let's just say they know those guards about as adamant as can be. But if, well, the Queen themselves were to make an appearance, it would only be the most respectful thing for everyone to be around them and to have dinner with them, all guarding aside and the like. It would be so abhorrent for everyone, but only one or two guards to actually leave their post. For a dinner with the Queen themselves would be a chance they couldn't pass up, and I repeat, a chance they could not pass up.
I understand, friend. That might just be the diversion that we need to get in. You're a smart fellow, I have to say that.
You go in
And
and get.
and what, pray tell, would you be after in return?
And kind of, you see him just kind of giving, just kind of looking over his claws once again. You see that similar, that blood red kind of nails that have been clearly dyed with a some sort of color, but his nails have been pointed to the end as well. They're almost claw-like in nature. And you say, I think by the time you have your king back, then you'll be more than willing to accept the favor of helping us overthrow those pesky elves and placing a new leadership in there. One made of more, well, vampire and vampire than the elves themselves. Of course, we're not going to try to have too much bloodshed. We just need a change of rulership, that's all.
And let's continue. What could we expect in Wispborn?
I think the Kitsune can find themselves a much better home in Grana than they have been way out there in the middle of nowhere. And with an extra leader being one of the Kitsunes, I think they would find themselves much nicer with the vampires than the elves.
I'm looking for total autonomy of Wispborn. Is that something that is in the cards here?
If there was a second ruler, all kingdoms must have two rulers. Have a more elf or more vampire loving Kitsune there, and maybe we can find an arrangement.
I see. Definitely something to consider. And Suki will look up to the stars and to the moon. And pause for just a moment. A long moment. A moment filled with internal conflict and self-reflection.
And what might the conclusion be to your self-reflection?
And Suki will turn back to Hiru and say, if you can, for these terms, I will agree. Provided you understand that our arrangement is that it is from me. You must come through me. It won't be from the king. If that is a term that you can accept, I will do my very best to accommodate your needs.
He kind of gives a sly smile. We've already been in contact with the king, and we need to be in contact with you as well, but also, we'd also like to make a deal with the king themselves, but currently they're captured. So hopefully we can come to more favorable terms with all of you, having Odin and bite into this favor. But first you need to get them out. First to have a clear of enough mind to have that sort of deal.
I can assure you that this can only benefit our relations, and should you seek a more favorable relationship with the king in the future, I would more than happy to be the conduit that makes that happen. And then Suki will offer their hand
And with that,
to shake.
and he grasps it firmly, very, very firm of a handshake. With that, I'm sure the Queen will find themselves in good company, making a visit to the mansion by morning. Of course, whenever you're ready, of course, she'll know when it's time.
There's more that you need to know. That sound, that buzzing sound, was the distant crack of lightning. As their hands clasp together, lightning strikes in the distance.
Do you have
Yeah,
any other
seriously.
things to say to them before they...
And Suki will say, there's more you need to know. In order for our arrangement to work, no one must know. They won't receive this well if they were to know the truth. Our agreement must remain hidden.
My agreements with you will remain hidden between you and I, but the Queen still has their right to reach out to your king whenever they feel so choosing at the end of all of this.
Very well. As long as our involvement, or specifically my involvement, remains unknown. this should all go according to our plans.
I'm gonna see him give his subtle nod, kind of like that, just one final nod. Very well, and I'll let you get back to your group, but just know that this plan has been very many decades in the making.
And I would hate to get in the way of such a great thing. I'm happy to be on board.
And you kind of see as he gives one final long smile as with a pause.
And
says-
Suki smiles.
Says, now go on and as he kind of begins to, he kind of gets up and begins to look up to the night sky as you see part of his body begin to transform. Go ahead and go and save my cousin, will you? And you see him jump up into the night in bat form and fly away.
Nice. Hey guys, I think I just made a deal.
Yeah,
I think you
Bro,
just
you're
did
lucky if you
without.
don't get shot. You're gonna have some strong words. I'm gonna be honest. It's not looking very good for you.
All right. Well. Yep. Okay.
I did
those are things that
exactly what we were assigned to do.
Nope. Yep. Yep. Okay. Okay. Let's figure
Okay,
this shit out
sure.
later.
Yeah, the half of the conversation that Jim was there for is going to the queen, and yeah.
Lovely.
A
Yeah, no,
vampire dissenting, a vampire saying mean things about elves. That's what it really was that you really were able to write down, is the vampires
No.
just berating the elves.
What I wrote down was him planning to usurp the elven government.
Yeah.
The son of the queen planning to usurp the elven government. Yeah, that's something pretty big.
What? No. What? No.
No. No.
When are they not
No.
trying to do that, you know?
Your government is only as legitimate as mine. I can see that
Yeah, if I'm gonna be
conversation
honest,
happening in the
I think
future.
everyone kind of agreed at this point. Elves are kind of fucked. I think
Mm.
we've agreed to that for a few sessions now. I think.
Panics an
Oh.
elf.
Burn.
I
That's
can't
all
believe you
gotta
left
say.
Suki alone.
I can't believe you left Suki alone either. I
With
was
the enemy,
told
mind
to
you.
not.
thing
Suki,
is-
the one who
I know,
has
I know.
already
But
been
also,
there.
the thing is though, is the fact that at that moment, Jin had to put everything he had into trusting Suki so that he could protect and get Clover out of there.
Clover could just leave by
That's
themselves.
not the point. That's not the point.
Wait about it, Clover
Like,
could
I
technically
thought
just be
once-
killed and come back in the morning, but we're not gonna talk about
Yeah. I mean,
Or
I'd like
that.
to think it's it's a very
It's very
unpleasant
unpleasant.
experience for
It
her.
is.
So
It would give
Adam tries
Adam
to
more
avoid it.
nightmares. It would give Adam,
Adam-
even more nightmares.
I'll give him
I
more
was gonna
guilt.
say, it's one of those things of Jin is very protective over things that he notices weakness in.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So mean.
So it was just the only mindset he had was protect at all costs.
That's adorable, and you made this possible.
He's going down a very interesting path.
Also, Zerda, I hate you for texting me that, and I hate the fact that I think I'm the only one who cares about what you said.
The very last words I said from him.
Yeah, I fucking.
The very last words. I'm gonna have to look into that again.
He said go in. He said go in. I think he said go and get my. Oh, he said
Go and
what
get
is-
my cousin.
Go and get my
Yeah.
cousin back. Okay.
Yeah.
Ugh.
decades in the making. I think we'll get a good. I think that's a good enough cliffhanger for the session.
Yeah.
Listen, I thought we were gonna go in the dungeon today. Apparently, Zerta had
Me
other
too.
plans.
Me too. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I
Zerta
also
had
did
a
at
I
the
thought
same
so
hour and a
too.
time.
half
I'm
derailment.
gonna be honest. At the same time, I didn't think we were going to.
I'm gonna say, to be fair, it's kind of our fault. We were way too meticulous about all this.
Yeah.
It took
Listen,
way too long for us to figure out the problem.
Okay,
Zerta
if you
took us
want
on
to,
an
if you
hour
want
and a
to.
half derailment of that. I'm blaming
Okay,
Zerta for this.
I feel like the vampire showing up while we're scoping out the place was kind of planned on his part. But also, if we didn't scope this place out, we would have shown up to the mansion and got into a big fight.
Yeah.
It probably would have been fucking
And I
destroyed.
don't know if we would have
I-
won it.
Pockets, I raised you there.